Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the last Wednesday night hobby hangout before Santa Claus arrives. Hope everybody is well. Hope you're all good. I don't know why none of my little things have come up on the screen there for some random reason. Let me flick to a different one and flick back and see if that just gives them a bit of a nudge. Oh, you had a sneak peek there. You had a sneak peek. See if that gives it a bit of a kickstart just to get all of the text up on screen and stuff. No idea why it's decided not to work. No reason why it's not up. It's been up every time I've been testing it. Not to worry, we'll get there and send it. Anyway, who have we got in the chat tonight? We had Marcus in earlier on. Tiga said he was looking forward to tonight. Or super looking forward to tonight, I should say. Dirk was in as well, saying super excited. What Christmas story Grandpa Andy will read us tonight. We'll have cocoa and blanket ready. Mark Wright as well was in, saying he's putting together these Malifaux figures tonight. Scott Webster says he might actually be able to sit on this one while he's hobbying rather than afterwards. Well, if you're around, Scott, nice to have you in. Who else do we have? Peter Koomans, clipping and gluing these Blitzkrieg German sprues. Lord Maiden's in. Tony Howell, hello to you, mate. ASDF says he has to sit this one out. We just popped in to wish everyone a happy and Merry Christmas. Look forward to the next stream. Thank you very much, mate. And if you do watch this back before Christmas, have an awesome Christmas yourself. We've also got, let's have a look, Christian Rees. Hello, Christian. How are you doing, matey? Peter Nicholas says, hi everyone, Merry Christmas, and for our overseas visitors, happy holidays. Yes, happy holidays to those that don't celebrate Christmas. Tony says, still no sign of those cogs. I'm going to have to go back up there with a beer and a torch. I think you're looking for little watch cogs, aren't you, for doing your base and stuff. William Jones, hello to you. Merry Christmas, sir. John Estel says, oi, oi, Savaloy. Just watching tonight as hobby space is being taken over by Christmas goodies. Yeah, you and a few people, mate, I think. Ortega says he's been sitting with his paintbrush for an hour waiting for it to start. I have nights like that sometimes where I'm just kind of sitting waiting and thinking, God, I just want to get started. Scott said a very Merry Christmas to all as well. Hello, Scott. Hello, Ortega. Ruas321 says, yay, Merry Christmas. Hello, mate. Busey's in as well, saying, Merry Christmas, everyone, and good evening. Stuart, here's the Monk Turner. Hello, Stuart. How are you doing, mate? Blizzard says, a reminder woke me up. That's a good one, mate. It means the reminders are working. Nice one. Where are we up to? Yoakum says, good evening, folks. He's painted his Splintered Fang tonight. Bit of war cry on the go. Dirk's got his hazmat troop ongoing. Scott's went on some terrain. Bobby Clark, good evening to you, mate. He said he's got paintbrushes to put away for the next few days. I think you deserve a well-earned break, mate, that's for sure. Just sit back and put your feet up, mate, for a change. Busey said it's that time to turn off Sky News for the evening. I've pretty much given up on news now. I kind of realised it is not doing me any good. It's not telling me anything new. It's constant 24-hour bad news. So I just don't watch it anymore now. I've given up on news altogether. Marcus is saying I won't be building or painting tonight, but a bit of the opposite. I'm taking models apart to rebase them for the Ace of Base. Yes, so those of you who didn't see Monday night's live stream, or you didn't see the announcement on Tuesday, we're having a little bit of a kind of a bit of a painting challenge, and the idea of it is just to basically do a miniature with a base, but spend a bit more time on the base than you normally would. If you just normally put sand on and kind of dry brush it, try putting little bits of kind of like sort of terrain on, try putting some rocks on, try putting some clump foliage on, try kind of scratch building some stuff, or maybe buy some some bases like I've just picked up here. Try picking up some of these type things. These little, if I can focus on that, these kind of resin sculpted bases. I'll show you them better under the camera. Try using them for a change. If you've got a 3D printer, 3D print yourself some bases. It's just a bit of a challenge to get out your comfort zone and do something a little bit different. I don't care how good it's painted. I don't care how good the miniature is, or what miniature it's for, or what game it's for. I don't care how many you do, if you do 1 or you do 10. It's just about kind of challenging yourself to do something a little bit different. And what I'm going to do is it's going to be, I think it's running until the 24th of January next year. And the idea is I'll just pick somebody at random of all the people that enter the challenge. It's not about who's the best. It's just somebody that completes the challenge will win a small prize in the new year. So if you want any more information about that, please do check out the community tab in YouTube or check out the Facebook group and all of the details and where you've got to send me your photograph they're all in there as well. Oh, excuse me. Bobby Zunk's in as well, saying he's not sure how long he'll be here, but here for a while. Thanks for popping in, mate. Lord Baton's going to finish his Shadow Stalker model. Santa Legacy is on the screen. Jeff Higdon, hello to you, mate. So he's working on some Nurgle Rotters in anticipation of getting Season 2 of Blitzball from Santa. Fingers crossed for you, mate. We've got John Jack in as well. It says, yo, I'm working on my Pile of Armada Orc ships for a bit before I go to donate blood. Very, very good of you there, mate. Jim's on as well. Hello. He's just off for a virtual company holiday party. At least we were able to opportune it. Now at home to have a crack a cold one and paint some Necrons. Nice, mate. Horns fans in as well. Says, happy holidays to all. Have we started the Texas roll call? Yeah, I think you might be the first, mate, tonight. Krabby says, right, you're not wearing a Mrs. Claus get up. Colour me disappointed. I definitely don't own one of those, mate. And Koros the Henker says, good evening to everybody. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. So like I say, I don't know why all of the notifications have just suddenly gone off there, but what we're going to be doing, this is not what I'm painting tonight, but I wanted to show this because a certain Mr. Christian Reeves sent me a parcel with a little Christmas card in, and there was a couple of little gifts inside, and this was one of them. And this is a 3D printed resin bust of Deadpool. Let me see if I've got a miniature handy just to kind of give you an idea of a size. Have I got any minis just kind of lying around here? What's that? That one will do. I've got a Dreadball mini here. Whoops. Just to give you an idea of size. So there you go. And honestly, I can't tell you how good the quality of it is. You just can't see a kind of a layer line in it. You've got to kind of take a picture and then zoom in to even begin to kind of see anything like some kind of layer line or anything in it. It is unbelievable. So I'm really looking forward to over the Christmas. I'm just going to kind of just paint that. I don't think I'm going to paint it on a stream or anything. I'm just going to paint that for my own enjoyment and just enjoy it. And then the other thing that was in the parcel that he sent me as well was this awesome base, which just happened to have this awesome fella to go on top of it as well. So again, this is 3D printed. This was in 4 parts, I think. The 2 arms, the torso, and the legs were separate, and I've glued them up. I haven't glued it to the base yet because I want to just put a pin in through the base and stuff as well. But yeah, again, the quality, like, there's just, it's hard to see with the light in here. I'll try and see if I can get the light a little bit better, but there's a little bit of gaps there I've just got to fill up, but I'm just making sure the glue goes off properly. But that's just where I've glued the arms on. Honestly, it is absolutely unbelievable. The quality is just first class. So first of all, thank you so much, Christian. I can't even begin to say how much I appreciate those gifts, and they are definitely going to get well used, mate. Everyone's saying, yeah, whoa, man. Krabby said he's finished the oil work on his McFarlane Marine. It looks awesome, mate. I was just looking at the pictures tonight. Tony said he was going to do his Infinity Christmas model tonight, which seems to have sprained his wrist. Oh, take it easy, mate. Rob's saying the Deadpool bust is nice. Honestly, mate, it's beautiful. Really good. Paul saying, have you taken the plunge and got a bust to paint? No, mate, they were a gift. They were sent by Christian for a Christmas gift to me, which was really, really keen. But I tell you what it is, it's almost confused me even more because the quality of those has made me think I don't need to spend the extra money on a flashy new printer. I'll just get a good one, like the one that Christian's got, for example, because I don't think I'd ever need anything to be better quality than that. Yeah, Horns fan saying resin printing has gotten good. Yeah, I think there's still a bit of fine tuning to kind of to be able to print off like armies and armies of models and stuff. But for doing stuff like that, the stuff that I would use it for, printing bases, printing that kind of stuff for my own enjoyment, I think it's at a higher level than I would ever need, I think. Krabby says Red Hulk incoming. Palmsy is saying hello, mate, by the way. Is that based on your physique, mate? That's me, mate, just before I started going to the gym. Yeah, just before, mate. I'm a little bit bulkier than that now, mate. But John Estel saying the Hulk smashing. Yeah, it's so nice. I mean, even like, it's hard to tell here, but if I can kind of get, like, you can, there's even like a tongue printed inside the mouth and the teeth and stuff, and like the hair You can just see the veins on the muscles and stuff. Probably there on the arms, probably the best shot. It's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, mate. I'm blown away by it. Everyone's saying morning, folks. The VJ, hello, morning, mate. I hope you're well. Tony's saying only more expensive printers is speed and time. Yeah, I'm not even sure I'd need the bigger build plates, mate, and the time thing. Whilst it would be nice, I guess I'm not going to be kind of sitting over it. So I'm not sure how much it is. Krabby says he was looking for on any Cubic website today. The Photon Mono is appealing. Yeah, there's a few different bits and pieces. I guess what I'm probably looking for now is the ones, probably like the one that Christian's got would sort me, because I've got somebody to ask for advice, kind of thing. And that kind of stuff's probably more appealing rather than different brands, and it's probably more to do with kind of who can I call upon for advice, what's the communities like online and stuff like that. Anyway, tonight I'm not planning to. I'm not actually even going to paint tonight. I'm going to build tonight. I'm going to build a model tonight, and this came in the post today. This is from Weird Miniatures, and this is, if you can see on there, is the Malosaurus Rex. Now this miniature doesn't come out until next year. I think it comes out end of January. But they sent me, along with a lot of other things, which I'll get to in bits of videos and stuff coming up soon. But they've this didn't even come in a box. They didn't even have the packaging ready for it. It is purely just the model itself. So this is a Malosaurus Rex, which is on a 50mm base, and this is for the new Explorers Society faction. So I thought I'm just going to build this tonight. I thought I'd build it up. That means I can maybe do a little bit of a showcase video of it, maybe kind of between Christmas and New Year, and show it off, because nobody else has got it, so why not show what it looks like. Krabby saying plastic, it looks good. Yeah, it's all plastic, mate. This one's just looks nice. Mold lines don't look too bad. So yeah, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to dive in, and I'm just going to clip these off, and then we'll get to building. Scott Webster says Malosaurus. Yes, mate. It's rather nice. I was really fortunate. I mean, I to be honest, I mean, you all know I've been quite critical of Weird and their marketing, and that they've not been. I mean, let me just see if that. I just need to double check if that little foot needs to come off. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll clip it at the back just in case. I've been a little bit critical of their marketing, and they tend not to kind of advertise outside of their own kind of community and stuff. There's a lot of people that are interested in their games, but don't necessarily know sort of where to get the best information for it. And I got an email from Nathan Caroland, who is I think actually on his business card it says head honcho. So I think he's the kind of like he's the top dog in Weird Miniatures, and he sent me a really nice email, just saying that kind of they'd been kind of keeping an eye on my stuff, been watching my videos and stuff, and wanted to know if they could send me some bits and pieces to take a look at. So we had a bit of a backwards and forwards chat, and he said I'll post something out to you. I kind of didn't know what to expect, but yeah, the parcel arrived today, and yeah, they went kind of above and beyond with what they sent out. So we'll if I get this built tonight, I'll show you some of the other stuff that came as well. But I got quite a bit for the new Explorer Society, some rule books and things, some books for the RPG as well, Into the Breach, or Through the Breach, I think it's called. Sorry. So yeah, so there's plenty of stuff to be talking about anyway, and as always, I'll give you my honest opinion on them. So we'll be doing that next year, I think early next year. So I thought, yeah, tonight I might as well crack on and we'll do this one while I'm just sitting chatting. It means I'm not having to concentrate on the painting side of things tonight. A bit more relaxed tonight, I think. We're getting ready for a little bit of a Christmas break. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a chilled natter tonight and a little bit of building. Lord Maiden says the model can also be used with Titania from Neverborn. That's right, yeah, it's a dual faction model, yeah. I think it's got the Fae keyword as well, which is what the fairies, Titania and the fairies use. So I think it's the keyword for explorers is the same as Lord Cooper's. I forget what it is now. Is it Apex? I think it is. Yeah, and the keyword for the Neverborn is fear. So yeah, pretty cool. VG seen anyone working on New Year's resolutions yet? I think mine is going to be to paint one Blitzball team a month every month. I tend not to set New Year's resolutions, mate. I think what I will be doing, I'll be setting myself some targets for the channel and stuff this year, but there'll be targets that are not based upon views. They won't be based upon subscribers or anything like that. They'll be based upon kind of like types of videos that I want to do, and or like subjects I want to cover or games I want to cover, because excuse me, all of that stuff's in my own hands really. Like I can do something about that kind of stuff, where views and subscribers are completely out of my control really. So I'm just cutting these out in order. Not that there's any instructions for this model yet, because the model's not available yet. The instructions to build it are not on the Malifaux site yet. So we're going to have to just wing it, I think, but I'm sure we'll manage. So yeah, that's so resolutions, probably not. I think actually one resolution I'll probably set myself, and it's more of a personal one, not necessarily a hobby one. But I saw something the other day, and basically, I mean, I've been getting a bit kind of down in the dumps about the situation and stuff, the whole COVID thing, and I'm not going to talk about that tonight. But something I saw the other day was if you can't change your situation, then change your outlook, and that kind of rang true with me. So if I do have a kind of a resolution, it'll be just like stop letting that kind of stuff get me down. Really, I think. I can change my outlook. I can change how I react to that kind of bad news stuff. And one of those things, like I said before, is I pretty much just stop watching the news now. So that's my plan for this year, or for next year, I should say. Although I've probably started already. Number 10 there. We'll get that little leg out. Clip that one. What about you lot? Any of you lot got any resolutions other than VG there? Which I think VG, I'd like to see. Have you got a Blitzball team ready to go for January? Is the one that you're going to do first? Hans Fancy, he was looking at that sprue before you said what it was and trying to figure out. Whoops, let's have a. What is that? Yes, mate. Yeah, I mean, it literally came. It just came in a plastic bag. There was no box or anything for it. It even said on the order sheet as well, like promotional sprue, no packaging, just because it's not available for sale yet. So yeah, it's very kind of them to send it out. I've got no idea whether they're sending stuff out to other channels as well, whether they're having a bit of a push and trying to do a bit of a marketing thing or not, or whatever. But I know that I've got some stuff to work on, and I've finished my Lady Justice stuff anyway that I bought myself. So now it means I'll have another crew to get to the table with them. Maybe even try and teach my wife how to play, which would be great if possible. But if not, I'll probably do like a how to play series of videos, because like I said before, I tend to stay away from some of that stuff, because generally. There's plenty of channels already kind of covered the big games and things, but with Malifaux it's a bit underrepresented really. I mean, there is some stuff for it, but I think the quality is varying. I think to be polite, some stuff is pretty damn good. Some stuff's looks like it's been filmed underwater. So yeah, so I think at the very least I'll probably do a bit more of a deep dive into Malifaux, kind of how to get started, maybe a how to play or something like that, and just gives me something else to work on. As I said before, on Monday really I've got to kind of concentrate on the stuff that I really can do on my own now, because I can kind of sit and moan about not being able to get out and see people and play games, or I can just get my chin up and crack on with it really. So that's the plan. Dirk saying, printing time and resolution aside, get yourself a printer with a slightly bigger plate. It's really frustrating to be limited in what you can print by the plate. Oh, I appreciate that, mate, yeah. Horns fan was saying he's trying to paint a Super Fantasy Brawl Mini each week, but couldn't keep that pace due to work. Maybe the New Year's resolution. Why not just say one every 2 weeks, mate? Don't kill yourself over it. Like, don't set yourself up to kind of to fail from the start. If you're like, let me zoom out a little bit while I'm getting ready to clean these up now. Scott's saying, yeah, Apex and fail. Lordman saying, yeah. Vigi says, maybe try one a fortnight, yeah. Peter says, probably paying 600 minis. Did the same last year, wow. Lordman saying, that is a huge model. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty big. I mean, like I say, it comes on a 50mm base. But I've bought these resin ones. So these are the ones I was just... Let me move that light a little bit so you can kind of see it. These are from Micro Art Studios. And I've bought these ones specifically for to put my my Malifaux stuff on. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that will sit on there. Right, I wasn't sure if that was meant to stay on or not. I think it's meant to come off, so let's take that off. Let's do that with the clippers rather than slice my fingers off, eh? Marcus is saying, my New Year's resolution is the same every year. Stay alive. I hope you continue to manage to achieve that, mate. You're doing well so far. Where was this up to? Scott Webster says, if it wasn't for this community and recommendations, I wouldn't have found Malifaux. Weird are amazing at giving leaks and info on stuff, but unless you're inside that community, it's hard to find. That's always been my criticism of Weird's marketing, mate. Once you know about them, and once you kind of know what you're looking for and where to look for it, the information that they provide on their game is actually really, really good. They've got loads of kind of like audio stories that they give away for free every week. They've got loads of like all of their rules, the cards, they do like wallpapers for your kind of computers and your phones and stuff. They've got like their own forum, like a community forum where people can sort of chat and hang out. They do quite a lot of stuff. What they don't do is kind of engage the wider tabletop hobby people. You need to be in that kind of that weird community to know exactly what the hell's going on. Like you never see them on like places like Beasts of War. You don't see them on like mini wargaming. You don't see like there's hardly, if you search on YouTube for Malifaux content, there is hardly any. Like I've been looking tonight because obviously they sent me out the Explorer Society faction book, and I was looking tonight to see if there'd been any kind of like reviews or talk about it online. I couldn't find anything. So yeah, so that's why I think I might as well cover some of that stuff. I don't want to repeat coverage if people have already made good content. I'd rather recommend that content and send them there. But let me move this microphone a little bit because it's just it was set up for well, let me just excuse the bashing around here while I just, there we go. Yeah, I'd rather like sort of recommend other people's content if they've done a really good job of it. But unfortunately, well, yeah, like I say, when it comes to Malifaux, it's there isn't a great deal. So hopefully that you should start to see more stuff out there. If I'm assuming I'm not just a one-off, I'm assuming they're sending stuff out to other people too. It could be a sign of things to come. So yeah, long may it continue. It's a fantastic world that the game is set in. I've said it loads of times. It was my first ever proper miniatures game that I ever played. And I'm looking forward to kind of delving back in again, really. So, but yeah, if once I get this model built tonight, I'll show you kind of, you chosen few. I'll show you some of the stuff that they sent out to me. But I'll do proper kind of like sort of video coverage, be that like either a Monday night stream or be it individual videos and stuff. I'll cover some of that, bits and pieces. I'll probably start filming some stuff between Christmas and New Year, and probably release it in the New Year when people have had enough of sort of doing their holiday stuff and then looking for something to watch. Let's have a look. Paul saying not so much a resolution, but a project. Paint the full all-in Star Saga pledge. I saw you do it. Did you see you doing that with your brother, mate? Did I remember reading that correctly? I hope you kind of keep a bit of a like a photographic log of it or whatever. Be nice just to kind of see it progress and see how it all kind of comes on. Lord Maiden says, "Keep being me. If I will change, it's a gradual thing. Change is inevitable." Yes, mate. Change is inevitable. Don't fight change. Embrace it. Change is good. Unless it's being done to you, of course, and that's different, and you don't want that to change. But yeah, you're sort of getting all deep and meaningful now, like. But yeah, life is just one long progression of change, isn't it? Vijay says, yeah, I have to say I was pretty crushed when I got the news about the New Year's Eve gigs all getting cancelled. I've been reading a similar thing about changing your outlook. Yeah, honestly, mate, I've had some proper ups and downs last few months. It's really kind of getting on top of me a little bit now, because it's just frustrating because I don't want to go into it in too much detail and things, because I don't really want to talk about the negative stuff, but essentially, like, there's so much conflicting information that you just don't know what to believe anymore, and that's what's becoming frustrating. So, but yeah, I just need to kind of put it behind me and just get on with it, mate. Tony said, I'm way too much of a slacker for New Year's resolutions. I'd end up miserable when I failed them all. There is that, mate. There is a school of thought that says you should never set yourself New Year's resolutions, because you're just setting yourself up to fail, and especially in this current climate. And if you set yourself an easy little goal, have you really set yourself something? Mine's going to be more like kind of like as a business, really. It's more just targets I'm going to set myself, really, like for like work wise. But as long as I kind of get up every day and enjoy what I'm doing, and I can financially afford to keep doing it, I'm going to be a happy man. So I've got to kind of look at it from that perspective. So, can't be that bad, can it? Crabby said, I'd like to invest in something to make a go of a business or something next year, just not had the right idea yet. Do you know what it is, mate? Me and my wife have had that exact same conversation as well. Like, I think at the minute, like starting a new business, unless it is something that can benefit from the current situation that we're in, is obviously a bit of a risky thing. But I think at some point, I think we'll probably look at something like that, because I just think it's we got the opportunity now, really. Like, obviously my wife's at home all the time, she's not traveling so much. I've got a bit more of a flexible kind of hand of working the hours that I can kind of around the family and stuff. So it's just it'll be something nice to look at, like. And I think I'd like to try, from a business point of view, I'd like to do an extension of something like I'm doing here. I'm not sure like opening a hobby shop is exactly the best idea at the moment, but who knows? Some kind of business based upon what I'm doing would be nice. Vijay says, so instead of letting it get me down, if focus on other things I can do with time instead, like making the hobby stream. Yes, mate, that's exactly where I'm trying to get to, mate. I can get myself frustrated. I can get stressed about it. Like I got to the point, like I think it was was it middle of last week? Like I almost did my back in out, like just through like tension, like muscle tension and stuff like that. I became so kind of like sort of tense about stuff. I almost kind of felt like the muscles in my back had just tightened up so much. it really kind of was a bit of a kick in the butt, if I'm honest. It's not good for your health, mate, getting worked up about stuff. So, yeah. You got to look after number one, mate, first and foremost, haven't you? Look after yourself, look after your family, and then after that, try not to get too worried about things. Video saying he's got a load of Blitzball teams built and ready to go. Oh, so which ones are you going for, then, mate? Which ones have you got ready to go? I'm not sure I will match you on the team a month challenge, but I certainly plan to get some done next year. That's for sure. Clint Dawson says he's dropping in a little late. Hello from Canada. Hello, Clint. I didn't realise you were in Canada, matey. He's working on the non-metallic metal on his Sisters of Slaughter for Warcry. Nice one, mate. I'd like to see some pictures of those. Rob saying next year I'm going to watch all of Andy's videos, narrow down the games I have, and not buy anything new unless I really need it. It's a really hard thing to do, mate, isn't it? I mean, like, there is an element of, like, narrow down your gaming and all this kind of stuff. And I'm, like, whilst I'm a big proponent of not wasting money on your hobby, if you are getting enjoyment from the money you're spending, even if you spend money on a game and you take the time to build it and paint it and you play 1 or 2 games of it, is that really so bad? Like, if you think you're getting value out of your money, if you're enjoying your hobby and you can afford it and you're not hurting anybody, it's not like you're not paying the bills, or at the end of the day, as long as you live within your means and you kind of you're enjoying the hobby, play the games you want. You can always sell them. You can always you can hang on to them, play them later, do what you want to do. But I'm never going to be a person that plays just one game, if you like. So I can't really kind of tell people to cool down the stuff. The only thing I would ever say about selling stuff or cutting back is when people buy stuff, like, get caught up in the hype train, buy new stuff, and just put it on the shelf and then never look at it, kind of almost instantly regret buying it before they've even done anything with it. But if you're doing stuff with you, I mean, I always see pictures of you, Rob, like playing all your different games and stuff like that. So you certainly seem to be enjoying your purchases, mate. I certainly couldn't sort of say that you don't get your money's worth, or you don't seem to get your money's worth. You certainly seem to make sure you play that stuff, mate. Let's have a little look. So VJ was just saying he's got, where was it? It was a list of teams there till I jumped off my screen. Let me get back. It was Skaven, Chaos, Dark Elves, Halflings, Undead, Dwarves, Wood Elves, and Elven Union. I think what I might do, mate, is I've obviously got to paint the 2 that's in the box set to start with. I've got some orcs as well that I've got from the original Blood Bowl set that I can probably repurpose as well. Not orcs, sorry. Yeah, I have got orcs here, sorry. And then after that, I don't know, elves might be a nice choice, like just something a little bit different. Where else we had? Scott Webster says Malifaux March Madness tutorials, terrain, playthrough videos would be great. Yeah, honestly, mate. I mean, like I say, it's a game that, like, even just from like because playing is still going to be a bit of an issue for the foreseeable future. I mean, in the UK, I can't see us easing back on restrictions for at least 4 or 5 months, I think. Which sounds terrible, but I think it's just, let's just face reality, really. I have to concentrate on the stuff I can do on my own and I can do just within the confines of my house, really. And so it has to be games that I'm really interested in, and I love the world of Malifaux. I love the lore of Malifaux. I love the quality of the minis and stuff. So yeah, they've sent me some stuff that's gonna last me more than long enough to make a start on things. So we'll just play it by ear and go from there. If people are enjoying it and people are watching it, then even better. Right, let's see how this thing goes together now. Because there's some interesting parts. Let's clean that up a little bit. Palmsy says Le Creuset mug, mate. Nice. No, I think it looks like it is, mate. I think it was like from Aldi or something like that. It looks like it's Le Creuset. I think it was like £2 from Aldi. I just like black mugs. Kieran said he's in a little late, but just finished voiceover on last Inquisition 28 Kill Team vid for YouTube and sitting down for a holiday beverage. Hope everyone is getting to do something fun. Yeah, I'm getting to build a model, mate. It can't be bad, can it? In fact, what I'll do is I'll just move that light around so it's a bit better lit for you lot. Right, we'll get this lined up. We can always clean it a little bit once it's sealed as well. Right, so we'll get those bit of plastic glue. And just run some around the joins here. I'll try not to go silent there while I'm doing this. Go across there as well. Where else are we up to? Mark's saying, oh good, I just got my hive tyrant off its base and nothing broke. The base came apart fine. Brilliant, mate. Doesn't it feel nice when things go right? Let's just hold that together, get a nice tight seal. Oh, it's quite hard to get a tight seal on that because it's so bloody spiky. It's hurting my bloody fingers. Let's hold that for a second or two. Now he's on for his Brood Lords. Nice one. People having a bit of a chat there. Tony says, Tom at T&G Productions on YouTube have done quite a bit of Malifaux, mainly breaking down the factions and explaining their keywords. Now the Guild Ball's gone. Yeah, I'd seen that Tom had been doing some stuff, mate. To be honest, Tom's is probably the best quality Malifaux stuff that's out there, really. I tend not to go into the rules so much. I tend not to like cover the like the gameplay aspects, so like how to play better or like what combinations. That's not really my kind of stuff, so I don't think I'm going to be kind of covering the same kind of stuff that he does. But yeah, as far as the T&G channel goes, that's probably about the best that's out there. I don't think anybody else is really doing any kind of consistent content. So we'll see what 2021 brings. All right, there's that first bit done. So I've got the two sides of the head now. So just got to see if there's anything's meant to go into the bottom there. See how this all goes together. Like I say, the instructions for this is not online at the moment because the model hasn't been released yet. So that'll be the bottom of the mouth there. So I think those two go together, and then the bottom jaw, will that just slot into there? Is that right? Right, okay, I think I'll pop that one in first. Where are we up to there? Andrew Fairbanks says, don't worry Andy, I'm here. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Do like a bit of Home Alone, mate. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Good evening, mate. How are you doing? Paul says, I'll be doing photo log of some kind. Haven't decided yet where to host it. Options at the moment are via Facebook page, Beast of War Projects Facility, or a WordPress blog. Yeah, just wherever it is, maybe it'll be nice to see it. It depends on who you're doing it for, mate. Really, that's kind of the best bit of where do you host it, really. If it's just for you, Facebook's as good as anything, isn't it? You could set yourself up a page for it, but if you're wanting the world to see it, there's probably other places where you'll get a better audience. Right, get a bit of stuff on there. That's the only problem with these things, is that when there's no instructions, there's always that chance I'm building things in the wrong order. I'm just trying to dry fit them and work from there. Paul saying him and his brother bought Star Saga, between them went all in, so he's doing the bulk models, the cannon fodder and the goons, and Paul will be doing the heroes and villains. Nice one, mate. Nice one. I've never actually played Star Saga before. I think it's actually the only Malifaux, the only Mantic game that I haven't played. I think I've played every other Mantic game at some point, but for whatever reason, even when I've seen Star Saga cheap, I've never picked it up. No idea why. Dirk said he's got himself some TT Combat City terrain for Christmas. Building a modern city gaming service in 2021 will be my New Year's resolution. I want to build some sort of like a nice board that I can use for both Malifaux and Wild West Exodus. I think that's maybe one of my plans. Okay, so that's the head part together there. I think the legs here. One of these legs, or one of these feet, got these kind of little sort of cutouts in them. I think that one goes on there. Where's the other foot? The other foot must go on. That one's got a bit more of a cutout there, so that one must go on that one. It's like a jigsaw puzzle here, and I'm not even that certain what the model looks like. So, because I don't know if there's actually been any pictures of the model online. There's been like sort of like artwork of it, but I'm not sure if there's been any kind of pictures of the physical model. Horns Fan says today's the start of 6 days off in a row, man. Nice. He said, I'm excited. Just going to paint, maybe a video game here and there. That sounds like a nice plan, mate. Enjoy it. Peter's having a chat as well. Horns Fan saying, hey Andy, how's that shave treating you? Now a few days have gone by. It's still pretty good, actually. You might be you can hear the stubble coming through. But yeah, I've not had any kind of like shaving rashes or anything like that. I've got decent razor blades and stuff and shaving foam and that, so and I think because I've been shaving my head for a few years, it's not quite as kind of sensitive as I used to get terrible razor burn around here when I was younger, but I don't seem to get it now. Maybe I'm just getting old. So yes, so far so good, mate. Thanks for asking. Right, now trying to understand how the hell all this goes together. Right, that looks like that is the other side of the head, and that goes into there, which looks good. So I think we'll get that bit into there. So for those who think that all the Malifaux minis are tiny little fiddly bits, they're certainly not all like that. Some are. I'm not going to pretend that there aren't some small pieces in Malifaux minis, but I wouldn't say they're any worse than Necromunda models, Warcry models, Wild West Exodus models. I don't think they're any worse than anybody else. I think I was just saying in our Patreon group tonight, I think they're just it's almost this kind of like this myth now, this legend of how fiddly Malifaux minis are to put together, and I think either they're not as bad as people think they are, or they've gotten better over time, or everybody else has just kind of caught up with them. Right, now I assume that is going to go down the back, and that seems to fit in afterwards, so that's pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll join them two parts together. We'll just make sure, how does that bit go on there? Where does it join to? Right, put a bit in here. I do love plastic glue for the just the speed of just getting things done. Put a little bit on the top here as well, I think. And once we've got all these bits together, we can clean up some of the joins and stuff, file them up. Let's scroll down a bit. Crabby says he's going to hold up. Crabby said he was going to hold off something, and then it disappeared. Let me find it again. Where are we at? He's going to hold off buying any models at all after January until he can play 40k confidently. If it means I have to get the missus involved, so be it. Yeah, do you know what it is, mate? It's like like I had grand aspirations of like 40k stuff and that, like getting all the models built and kind of building a nice big army, even if it was just like as a display army for myself, really. But if I'm being completely honest, the chances of me getting any games in the next 6 months are probably zero, if I'm perfectly honest. There's other stuff that my wife will play with me, and if they start to open up like bubbles and things like that at some point, like there's things like my brother-in-law will quite happily play. He just lives kind of like on the next estate over from me, so not too far away. So I kind of want to. I've just got to be kind of sort of pick and choose the things that I think I'm gonna enjoy and I'm gonna be able to get to the table. So yeah, it's just a weird time, isn't it? Like I say, just got to kind of temper my expectations really and be realistic. I'll probably get some more games of Armada in as well. My wife quite enjoyed playing that. We've even played games of Armada that I haven't filmed as well. Like we've had set a table up downstairs and played a game of Armada and stuff as well. So we have actually played it together. And she said that she'll help with. I think she understands how frustrated I've been as well with the situation, and she's keen to kind of help with stuff that she can help with. So yeah, we might even see more of her on the channel at times. We'll see how things go over the next few months. Vijay says, I'm thinking what I might do is put the scoring coins into a pouch and do a random draw of 2 and then see which one of those 2 I'm most excited to paint. That sounds pretty good, mate. That's probably a good way to do it. Just try and give yourself little challenges like that. Right, that's going to go into there. Steve Evans, good evening, sir, says Murray Geekmas. Dave Mackay says, had a few games with the missus tonight. King of Tokyo, Suro, I don't know Suro, mate, and Carcassonne. King of Tokyo and Carcassonne I can highly recommend as well. Yeah, good games, mate. I think it was a certain Mr. Tony Booth Leiden that might have taught me how to play King of Tokyo, actually. I don't think I'd ever played it before until we had the BlackJack Weekender. Where are we up to? Crowd saying, I'd like to spend more time on busts and stuff in the interim, which will give me a chance to develop some skills. It's part of the reason I wanted to kind of have a look at some of those resin busts, mate. Almost just to kind of to try and up my skill level. I think kind of like doing things like wet blending and shading and stuff when something's on a bit of a bigger scale might actually help me understand the techniques better. And then once I understand them a bit better, I can start working on smaller scales, if you like. Tony says, I'm definitely a poly gamer too. I like variety, but it does mean I get different system rules mixed up sometimes though. Yeah, I certainly have instances where I can quite happily confuse games between each other. But that's all part of the fun, mate, isn't it? But yeah, I could never imagine me kind of like just dedicating my time to just one game. Like I've got my Kings of War army as well. Obviously, like if we remember, the start of this year, we started the Kings of War challenge and stuff. So I've got my Kings of War army. Not managed to get a game with it. It's really kind of put a dampener on that as well. And I don't want to spend any more money on Kings of War stuff because I don't like I don't really know if the army I've got's any good. Like, do I need to buy bits to, like, am I missing core components to kind of to play what I've already got? Really, I mean, it's a legal army, but I don't know whether it's going to play any good or whether it's like missing kind of specific sort of units or whatever. So I don't really want to start spending on those games until I understand what I've got. And it just makes it difficult, doesn't it? Well, this is going together quite nicely. Don't see any issues with this so far. How far down does that come? Comes to there. So let's get. Come on, glue, flow for me. A little bit there as well, I think. Actually, that goes right the way across there, so we'll get some glue on the bottom as well. What else are we up to? Barry Cliver, Merry Christmas to you, sir. How are you doing? He says, wrapping the kids' gifts. I spent my afternoon there wrapping my wife's presents, actually. She took my little one to the swimming baths this afternoon. The swimming baths did this thing where you can basically kind of like hire out a quarter of the pool. Like, it wasn't that cheap. I think it was like 25 quid or something like that. But you could hire out like a quarter of the pool so that you weren't mixing with other people, like close by them anyway. And the little one went swimming, so he absolutely loved it. It's been trying to keep things normal for him, really, so that he doesn't like just get stuck being in the house. Really, it's not the nicest of kind of weather and stuff at the minute, so you got to just try and keep things as normal for him as possible. Really, we went to Alnwick Castle last night. For those that know the northeast, and they had like this kind of these winter lights thing where you basically walk around the Alnwick Gardens, and they've got like Christmas lights and stuff on, and that was quite nice. It was nice just to have a reason to get out and go somewhere. I don't feel like I've really sort of been anywhere recently, like for any other purpose than that. Like I needed to go to the shop or something like that. So it was quite nice to go somewhere for a reason that wasn't just I need to get some milk or something. Busy, good news. GW said they'd shoulder any customs duties fees for the EU, so that's a positive. Yeah, I think generally, mate, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue for GW. They're a reasonably sized company. It's the smaller ones, I think, who are going to suffer, who don't have a lot of staff. I mean, for Games Workshop, they'd probably lose more. They'd probably lose too much money if they basically didn't shoulder it themselves anyway. So it's probably better for them to do that. Plus, let's not forget they've got a nice little buffer built into the euro conversion rate as well, haven't they? So, but yeah, it is good to see that they kind of at least they've made some kind of announcement about it as well, so people know what's happening. And then that bit goes on there. Yeah, that's just another thing that we've got to look forward to, January the 1st as well, isn't it? Oh, the world, what a wonderful place it is at the moment. VG says, anyone played Arkham Horror? I'm looking to pick up a copy with Christmas money. I might get it. My best mate has Eldritch Horror, and I dig that. Looks like Arkham is similar, but on a different scale. I think Robert Zunk's got it. I'm sure I've heard Rob say he's played it. I've got Arkham Horror as well, mate, but I'll be honest, I bought it with like a Christmas voucher that I got from my old job last year, it might have been, or potentially the year before, and I've just never got round to playing it, mate. So I've heard good things about it, good enough that I bought it myself, but I've just never got round to playing it, mate. Ortega says, so happy how the paint is flowing tonight on this Warcry model. Sometimes you just have those nights, don't you, where it just goes right. So, folks, other than a little bit of gap filling and stuff and a little bit of clean up, just where the joins are, this is the model. And to give you an idea of the scale of it, let's get that that mini back again. Oh. This is one of the Dreadball models in comparison for the size. So I'll give you an idea just of the size of it. And it needs to go on this 50mm base once it's all cleaned up. So hopefully there's a nice flat patch here on the foot. I think I'm going to probably be able to drill through there and pin up into the foot. And I think we'll be able to get it on the base like that, I think. And pin it down through there. So that looks pretty solid there. Doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. But yeah, I'm happy with that mini, if you could call it a mini. I think before I start cleaning things up and stuff, we'll leave that to dry properly before we crack on with anything on that one. What else we got? Oh, what's that one? James Zorn with a donation there says, Merry Christmas. I appreciate the hobby hangouts. Don't always catch them live, but they've helped with my hobby motivation this year. Thank you very much, mate. That's really, really kind of you to say so, and thank you so much for the donation. I don't know what's happening with the notifications, mate. They were certainly they were certainly working before I went live randomly. Let me have a quick look and see if I can. Can I turn them on and off? Is there anything over the top that's covering it? No, there's nothing covering it over the top. I don't know why they've suddenly decided to stop working. Because the alert box doesn't look like it's worked tonight either. They're on there, okay, they're working all right. So it should come through. Should come through on there at some point. Random. I don't know why it's doing that. It was definitely working before. It was as soon as I pressed live. Let me just go back to the face view and see if that. Because sometimes they refresh themselves a bit. Event list. I've got no idea why they're not working tonight, folks. But let me go back to the painting one. Let's see if it updates at the bottom of the screen there. Eh? Let's see if it updates. I'll go back to where we were up to. But yeah, thank you very much, James. I really do appreciate that, mate. Where were we up to here? Bit of chat, Krabby. Warwick Dark Edge, good evening, mate. So I've got so many old school Blood Bowl teams, vampires, wood elves, Norse, all in metal, just sitting in boxes. Should sell them or something. No time for the game, sadly. Yeah, if you're never going to use them, mate, I would definitely recommend selling stuff on. If you definitely know you're not going to do anything with them, really. Phil Campbell, good evening to you, mate. I do apologise, James, for your name not coming up there, mate. I have no idea why it's decided that it doesn't want to, because it was what it was shown before, because we had a couple of new Patreons this week. Aaron Walker upped his pledge this week as well to the $10 mark or £10 mark, and Steve Krebs is a new Patreon as well this week, so it was awesome to see that, and their names were up in the corner of the screen earlier on when I first switched it on. Just seems like since I went live it decides that it's glitched and it doesn't want to do it anymore now. So weird. I'll tell you what, let me just try. If I copy and paste a reference in and see what happens. And see if that does anything. No. No, having two doesn't make any difference. Weird. Weird. Lord Baden says, we're talking hobby gold mines to have at least 4 fully painted Warcry warbands and maybe painted scenery before things go back to where we can go and play. That's a good reason to try and do that. Vijay saying, yeah, Elric kicks ass. Love it, but he's already got all the expansions. I even got the last one. I remember you saying you bought it for his birthday, mate. Might as well start a different but smaller game. Yeah, I cannot really recommend it, mate, other than I'd heard good things, so I bought it myself, but I just never ever got around to playing it yet. Rob's saying for Christmas he bought his wife this cold case, solve the crime game for 1 or more. You get this case file filled with clues. If you get stuck, you go to their site for hints. I quite like that kind of stuff, mate. I think I said the other day we've been doing like an online escape room thing. Me and my wife doing it over Zoom with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, my wife's sister and her husband, and that's been pretty fun. Bit more chat backwards and forwards. Tony's found his cogs. Nice one, mate. Well done. Lob Benson, yeah, although if I have time, looks like Warbands 5 and 6 might be a big issue. Horns Fancy and never try to put together a mini without instructions. I guess I've been taking instructions for granted all this time. I tell you what, mate, if you get used to building Mantic minis, they hardly ever come with instructions, mate. But this one, I get this quite often when companies send me sort of like pre-release stuff. Like Mantic sent me all the ships and stuff for Armada. There was no instructions for those either, so I couldn't. I had to kind of just try and work it out and try and look at pictures online and that kind of stuff. But this was not too bad. I think it was about 13 pieces to this, and it was relatively straightforward of how it went together. So. But yeah, it's a really nice model. I like that. Some of the little details and stuff on it, like the chain around the ankle there. You can kind of see broken away there, the tail. I wasn't so sure about that. There's a bit of a kind of like the join around the tail here seemed a little bit proud. But in all honesty, once it's there, you're not actually going to see it. So nothing. A little bit of by the time I kind of a little bit of joint filling on it and and it's like 2 different types of scales, so they paint them slightly different colours anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with that, mate. Fiji saying Tabletop Wolf did a Blitzball bat rep on his second ever with a homebrew version of the Black Orcs. Sounds like fun to play, but heavily overpowered. I can imagine, mate. Yeah. Fiji saying sounds very similar to Lizard Man. Busey saying Bic razors or Wilkinsons. I actually used Gillette ones, mate. I went and spent a bit of money and did Gillette ones. Peter says Beast of War, Malifaux, weird poisonous beasts. Malifaux, here's a pick. Oh, it's alright, mate. I've got to finish now, mate. VJ saying he absolutely hates putting together minis without instructions. I don't mind it, actually. It's part. I actually don't like building minis in general, so actually doing them as a bit of a puzzle thing just keeps it a bit more interesting for me. Let me just put that there to kind of dry and stuff. John saying, as well as the artwork, there's a 3D render of the model on Weird side. I hadn't seen the 3D render, mate. I'd only seen the artwork ones when I'd looked previously, but it's been a little while since I looked. Martin says, if Andy grew his hair out, does anyone think he would look like Krillin from Dragon Ball Super? I don't really know the Dragon Ball stuff, mate. Tony saying, after building the Raging Heroes minis, I wouldn't dare call a Malifaux mini fiddly. Yeah. Andrew saying, pro tip for shaving, allow the shaving cream to sit for a few minutes after application. It softens the hair and smooths the skin. I think my hair is so like short anyway when it gets shaved. And I obviously don't shave my beard, so yeah. Lord Maiden saying the quality of Malifaux plastic certainly improved, but back at the start of second it was bad. There's a reason why Jan Lo's beard exists. I think when it started to get a bit weird was when they first moved to plastics. Like when I first played Malifaux, it was all metals, and I think when they first moved to plastics, there was probably some issues. But yeah, it's definitely a cut above now. Clinton, I miss what model you're building. I started most of my building with Malifaux, and now I can confidently build anything plastic. Metal is a different story. Yeah. This is the Malosaurus Rex, mate. For the it's part of the new Explorers Guild, but it can also be used with Neverborn as well with the fear keyword. Vormwood, good evening. Says love the look of the Malifaux minis. Always thought it would be a fun game to try. Just finding other players, that's a problem. Maybe I'll pick a few up to paint. That's one thing I would say. Let me just grab another box of them actually. One thing I would say is that basically the kind of minis that you even if you never get a game of them in, they're just nice minis to build. They're nice minis to paint and stuff. So let's get out what's in this set as well. So this is what's in the Lord Cooper core box. As you can see there, that always has the keyword Apex, which means I can also use this fellow with this warband or with this crew. You get Lord Cooper, who is the leader model. You get Model 9, who is a henchman. Henchmen's are kind of like a second in command type thing. And then we've got Artemis and Ulla, who are his 2 dogs. And then we've got these 3 runaway models. And there's some strange rules with these runaways, where he actually gets he's hunting people, and he gets kind of points for taking out his own models, which is quite interesting. But yeah, this greeny coloured stuff and this like compass style sort of logo is the new Adventurers Guild logo, which you can kind of see on the box here as well. So yeah, that's this is the new Lord Cooper core box. So we'll have a look at that one. These are the cards that you get with the Malifaux stuff. They're kind of like tarot card sized, really nice quality as well. They've got like a bit of a gloss kind of shiny finish to them as well. So if you want to use dry erase markers on them for marking wounds or anything like that, you can do. You can kind of see there the way the light's hitting them. Yeah, but they're nice. So you basically have your defense, your willpower, your movement, and the size of the model. I'll do it so that they're not like that. Yeah, so defense, willpower, movement, and size. You kind of have some of their abilities on the front, and so these are the stuff that it can kind of do generally. And then on the flip side, you have some attack actions, and then you have some tactical actions. And it might look quite overwhelming at first glance, but it's actually pretty straightforward. And because you don't have a lot of models in a warband, like generally probably 7 or 8, 9 maybe. You kind of you don't have that too much to worry about. Like for example, he's got like 3 attacks basically, and these other stuff are what's called triggers. It tells you the size of the base, tells you on the front as well how many health points they've got. They also as well, they give a card for each of, so for all there's 3 runaways that all have exactly the same stats and abilities. They also give you a card for each of them with 3 different artworks. So unlike Warcry, where basically you get 1 card and then you try and track the kind of like the wounds across like a separate little card, Malifaux actually gives you a card for each of the models as well, so it's a lot easier to track stuff. Now we've got the Model 9 one as well, which is again is kind of is a henchman, and then we've got the 2 dogs as well. So yeah, so that's the kind of cards that you get with these. You also get obviously the bases, should you want to use them, or if you want to kind of just get here, that's like sticky tape like that. Let me just get them back in there. You get the bases as well. Somebody was just saying today about these being particularly flimsy. I hadn't thought of them as flimsy, but if you are the kind of person that puts magnets on the bottom, there's not really any room to put magnets on them, unfortunately. But it's because they're kind of lipped, they're dished in at the top, which means you can either put inserts in there, or you can kind of build up kind of like bits of nice basing and stuff. But in this instance, I've purchased myself, knowing that this box was coming. I actually purchased some of these, like I said before, from Micro Art Studios. Let me get them so it's not as bright. I'll move it lighter away a little bit. Zoom in a bit. So these are kind of like broken up bits of like forest and bits of like sort of ground cover and bits of grass and things, little bits of broken off logs. So I've used these ones as a bit of like an outside. I'm thinking of adventure, explorers society rather. They're kind of like they're going to be out searching for bits and pieces. So I thought I'd go with kind of like wood, like sort of something a bit outdoorsy. Yeah. Andrew Fairbanks saying that he started looking like a black-haired Einstein if he let his hair grow out. Right. So they do have the so the way these come on their sprues is quite interesting. Not like some other games. So basically, it's I mean, this is 1 sprue for those 7 models, but you can actually split it up. So if I clip it off here, for example, that it tells you the name of the model at the top there, so you know what you're building, and then basically all of the parts are on that sprue for that one particular model. They also come with these like these little feet on them as well, so it means that when they're in packaging, they can kind of sit on top of each other like that, and they don't damage the ones underneath. So there's a bit of thought going into these things, but I also like the way that they can just clip them off. So if you can kind of build them one mini at a time and not mix the parts up. You know exactly where everything goes. And then these ones are labelled. You can see along the bottom here 1, 2, and 3, and this is for the 3 runaways. So yeah, I think it's not something that you kind of always see very often. You tend to find what companies they'll get all the parts on the sprue the best they can, kind of thing, fit them in the gaps. But the Malifaux ones tend to be laid out so you can actually build individual models. Lobin says it was like an under 1 centimeter piece that you attached to the head. If you dropped it, you lost it, and the face was bad. There's still some small pieces in these, mine, I must admit. I mean, like things like here is still the robot's head here. That's the front of the robot's head, but it's not like unmanageable. It's small, but it's not like unmanageable and stuff like that. Is there anything on here? I think there's a head here as well. So this is one of the runaways. There's the head for the runaway. But like I say, they're no worse than things like the Necromunda minis and stuff like that. I remember them being quite some small pieces and things. Connor, good evening, Connor. Said, evening, glad I could catch the stream. Thank you very much for popping in, mate. Lee Burns, hello to you as well. He says, how's the lack of games changed what you're painting? Are you more likely to paint stuff you won't play with just for enjoyment? It has kind of changed it, mate. I must admit, I've lost a bit of motivation to paint like armies of things. Like, I was really enjoying painting the Kings of War armies that I did as part of the challenge, but then not being able to play the game afterwards, kind of, it's like, as I said before, actually, it stopped me wanting to paint anything more for it, because I wasn't getting a chance to play it to know whether am I just painting for the sake of it, or am I actually adding to the army, if you like. But what it has done is, it hasn't like dulled my enthusiasm for painting itself. It's actually just made me want to paint different stuff. Like, as I said before, things like getting this from Christian as a gift is exactly the kind of thing that I want to be painting. I want to be painting things like this is never going to be used in the game. It's not. It's just going to be an ornament. It's going to go like sort of on my desk. It's going to look nice, and it just means I can paint for pleasure as opposed to having to paint for games all the time. So yeah, as I said before, you kind of have to change your outlook, really, don't you? And just work with the things you can work with, and not worry about the things that you can't control. Andrew Fairbanks, Andy, have you considered telling your local authorities to pour sand? I realise that's a fairly American approach to things, but it worked pretty well for us for the last 250 years. To pour sand, or to pound sand. Sorry, I thought you said pour sand. Unfortunately, mate, the situation we're at the minute is there's new laws changing all the time, so you can pretty much just say, put your two fingers up to it and just say, I'm going to ignore it. The problem is you end up like with £1,000 fine, and you get arrested. So yeah, things are a bit funny at the minute, mate. Marcus says, when my hair is down, if it gets frizzy, I look like a skinny Hagrid. Lisa, I ask it because that's what I'm finding. Enjoying painting a bunch of old Hammer stuff at the minute. 40k is well off the menu. Yeah, I think in the past, I certainly had this feeling of, well, I'm not going to buy those minis because I probably won't get to play them. And then actually in real terms, I very rarely got to play stuff that often anyway. So I think what I'm doing now is I like things like the Malifaux stuff. I picked up the Lady Justice crew purely as a treat to myself. I picked it up because I loved Malifaux. I remember fond memories of kind of playing first edition. So I thought, I'm going to pick up the rule book, even though the rules are free online. I was picking up the rule book to read the background, to read the lore. I picked up the minis just to paint them for myself, for my own enjoyment. And I probably wouldn't have done that if I'd been playing games regular, because I would have felt like, oh well, I might not get it to the table, so maybe now's not the right time for it. So yeah, I guess I'm buying the things that I like the look of, as opposed to the things that I think I can get a game of, because I can't get a game of anything at the minute. Mortis is saying, okay, the Broodlords of its base. He's got to remove. Nice one. Horns fan says tiny T-Rex arms there. Yes, they are a little bit like. Where are we up? Where did that jump ahead for? Horns fan says, hey Andy, where did you get those bases that you used for the Ace of Bases graphic? Are they just internet clip art, or are those actually yours? They're just internet clip art, mate. Yeah, I think one of them is the painted versions of these bases. But yeah, they would. I think if I remember right, they're both Micro Art Studios ones. Rob said, I have it in play. It's really tough to win Arkham Horror, but it's a fun game. Yeah. Busey said, it says Arnold Degans on his screen. It shouldn't, mate. It should say Adam Edgar. Unless you're watching an old stream, mate. James says, I'm not worried about that, but I apologise, mate. I don't know why it's not working. Like I say, it was working the second before I went live, so I don't know why that is. Arnold, good evening, mate. How are you doing? Christian, sharing the link for the Patreon there as well. Thank you very much, Christian. Yeah, the Patreon is what pays the bills, what allows me to do these kind of community streams and stuff. And I really do appreciate everybody that's kind of helped me with their wallets this year. That's what's made this even a possibility. So thank you very much, folks. Hello, Arnold, by the way. I hope you're well. Tasty Brain Drains in as well. Hello to you. Where else are we up to? Scott's saying one more Viking house ready for painting. A nice one, fella. Scott's saying that's a nice model. Yes, mate, these are Malifaux stuff. Am I well behind? I think I'm about 15 minutes behind. I'm going to catch up. Horns fan says, you drinking Bud Light on Monday reminds me. I met a guy from the UK and a guy from Australia one night in Barcelona. I drank Newcastle. The UK got drank Foster's and the Aussie drank Bud. Warwick's saying those hounds are amazing. Yeah, they're quite nice little models then, man. The little doggies. I think we might build one of those in a minute. Marcus is saying I'd recommend Malifaux figures for anyone trying to run Bloodborne D&D or Pathfinder campaigns. Yeah, they're nice, mate. They're nice. VG saying no real Aussie would drink Bud. I like Budweiser, mate. I don't care what anybody else thinks, and I like Bud Light actually. I remember I started drinking Bud Light when I went to Vegas on holiday, and it was kind of like a daytime drink, really, like so that you weren't just like tanked up all the time. So we would kind of sit outside the PBR, which is the Professional Bull Riders bar, just outside of Planet Hollywood. Sit outside there at a sports bar where we kind of sit and watch a bit of sport. We get a bucket of beers, and we always used to get Bud Light with lime because it was just like so refreshing when it was hot in Vegas. And you get like in a bucket of ice, we'd get some like nachos and some kind of like picky food type stuff, and we'd just sit outside, watch the sport, watch the world go by, kind of people watch a bit. It was just awesome, and that's what kind of got me started with Bud Light. It's just it's a little bit less alcohol, and it's not as gassy as Budweiser, and I just find it quite nice as a kind of like a just to drink for the taste as opposed to drink to get drunk kind of a drink. But yeah, I like Bud Light. Peter Cooman says, can't decide full strength 10-man units for my Germans or irregular numbers. I wouldn't even know where to start, mate, with that kind of stuff as to what difference it would make. My guess would be full strength should probably always be better, but I could be wrong. Peter says, the only Aussie I ever knew personally said Foster's was piss. Yeah, I think it's like a lot of stuff, isn't it? It's just it's a brand that goes around the world, but like in hometowns, I guess it's like I don't know, I hate Carling. I can't drink Carling. Like if all there was to drink was Carling, I would just give up drinking, to be honest. And I think that's the best selling lager in the UK, which is like unbelievable. Peter says you should have one big muscled runaway guy that represents Jean-Claude Van Damme in Hard Target. Horns fan says I might have a similar opinion about Bud, but if Andy likes it every now and then, I don't want to bash it. Hey, you bash away, mate. Don't worry about it. We don't all like the same things. Don't worry about that. I just find it a bit lighter, a bit less gassy, a bit less heavy, especially when I'm doing a live stream and stuff. Last thing you need is me 4 cans of Guinness in. Be a very different live stream if I sat and drank 4 cans of Guinness, that's for sure. Lord Maiden says it's true. We're going back at least 5 years. Their plastics improved. I'd recommend their models. Dirk says it's German. It's cute seeing you discussing beer. Yeah, right, mate. I've been to Oktoberfest and stuff, and I've been to Germany quite often. A lot of like the work I used to do in my old job saw me going to Germany. So, yes, I'm no stranger to German beer. Where are we at? Oh, I did not jump ahead, didn't it? Where was that up to? Mark saying, I'm just glad since COVID my 40k shame pile's not grown, but his EOS and Warcry pile's tripled. That's what happens, mate, isn't it? W. Mikowski, hello, mate. All the way from Levittown, nice to see you. Steve saying, Yanlo's beard was the source of mountainous rage in my old shop. I do remember hearing about that, actually. Duffy says, still building Odd Boys, and he's rehafting some of the choppers. Nice one. Donald says, did I miss any vids on Catacomb playing or building painting? No, mate, I didn't do anything on them, mate. I haven't been able to play it yet. And I painted everything up just for a bit of fun, really. Because it's such basic stuff, mate, I just assume nobody would want to see it. Everything's just dry brushed. It's not like I've done anything fancy with it. I keep meaning to take some photographs to show it, but I can't imagine it would have been helpful to anyone, really. I mean, it's literally base coated and dry brushed. It was super quick. But I guess that's the bit I need to get my head around sometimes, is that sometimes it's the super quick stuff that people don't necessarily think of, and it puts them off sort of painting terrain and things. So maybe I need to kind of get my head around doing some of that stuff again. Tony says, you're beginning to understand the concepts of tone jitsu. My approach to painting, yes. Tony saying, organised sprues like those are a godsend. They definitely are, mate. Honestly, it's amazing that more companies don't do them. Like when you buy like the sort of Games Workshop sprues, and it's just a big sprue full of all the bits, and you're looking all over for the bit you want. And when the numbers don't always look like they line up with the bit that you want and stuff, you end up clipping out wrong parts. I mean, it's not impossible or anything like that. I'm not really complaining about it. It's first world problem stuff. But just to have like everything on there is a model. It's fine. I'll clip it off. I'll just put it to one side. I'll get back to it, kind of thing. John Estel says, Bud Light on a sunny day is awesome. Yeah, that's definitely kind of, honestly, it's like my memories of just sitting outside the pub in Las Vegas on my holidays. Like it was just absolutely blazing, as you can imagine. It's like it's in the desert. It's red hot. Yeah, and like especially with a bit of lime in it as well. Like it comes flavored with lime, like Bud Light with lime. Yeah, it was just nice, mate. Happy memories. I was watching some TV show or film or something the other day with Las Vegas in it, and getting withdrawal symptoms. I've got some happy holiday memories with me and my wife being there. So let's see how the hell this. Yeah, it would help if I didn't have the dog upside down, wouldn't it? And the leg would go on perfectly. Right, we'll get that bit into there. Lord Maiden says, I'm a low alcohol cider drinker myself. Prefer the taste, and I can really taste alcohol in things. Plus Waitrose do a good low alcohol one for cheap. Cider is something you don't tend to get a lot in the States, actually. It's I mean, obviously you can get it elsewhere, like around the world and stuff, but you don't tend to get a lot of cider. I've noticed when I've been there. You might do now more recently. It's been a few years since I've been, but you certainly never used to. Craft beers and things like that you used to obviously get a lot of, but yeah, ciders was rare really to get cider. But yeah, I do like a nice cider in the summer. Can't beat a nice cider when the sun's out. Bit of ice in the glass, keep it cool. Mike G says, hi all, just got back from shopping for stocking stuffers for the wife. She's vegan, so it involves a lot of reading ingredients. I can imagine, mate. I used to work with a girl who was gluten intolerant, and yeah, I can remember whenever we went anywhere on business, having to like sort of triple check menus and things like that. And you know, when people are catering for like business lunches and stuff like that, yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare for her. So I can imagine what that kind of stuff's like as well. Tony's seen a pint of dry cider with a couple of ice cubes, nectar. Yeah, I think we're on the same page there, mate. Dirk says you only get small beers at the kids' table. But he says Aussies don't mind being pissed during the day. In fact, we prefer it. It was more about me when I was on holiday. Like obviously, it's a bit different when I was on holiday because I wanted to. Obviously, there's a bit of jet lag as well. So you're trying to make the most of it. You're trying to make sure you're awake during the night and not like sound asleep at 7 o'clock at night. So there's a bit of kind of coping with jet lag and stuff. And then also, obviously, being in Vegas, obviously, it's about nightlife. So I didn't want to be like sort of half cut by the time we were kind of getting ready to go out for dinner and stuff. So daytimes were a bit more chilled, really. We just, like I say, just sitting having a few beers in the sun, watching the world go by and stuff. And then obviously on the night time, we'd make up for it and have some nice cocktails and make a proper night of it. So yeah, it wasn't. It was more of a conscious effort, mate, just to not peak too early. These fit together nice, mind. I tell you what, they do a good job of hiding some of the joins on these, because what essentially it's where like the muscles of the legs are. Let me just They're pretty nice the way they join together. Just click that top bit there. I like the way they've got the dog's ears as well as part of the leg. Now, there's the thing that they would have done years ago. Years ago, the dog's ears would have been separate. But the way they've done them, like there's the dog's ear attached to the leg, so when that goes into there, it glues into the side of the head there. I'll let that dry there. I've missed a little bit to clean up just on the back of the leg there. A little bit on the bottom of the foot, but we'll clean that once it's dry. So there's, let me just zoom in a little bit. Let's see what this one's called. Was the name on the sprue there? This dog is Artemis. There's quite a bit of character in them as well, actually. I like the kind of the shapes of them. So there's Artemis. He'll get his base. I need to wash and scrub the other bases. Actually, I've only washed and scrubbed the 50mm base. I didn't really expect to get too far ahead tonight. We might as well clip one with these ones as well. James is saying Bud Light is fine, exactly as you say. Sometimes something to drink without getting pissed. Yeah, exactly, mate. Connor just said something about Guinness there till it jumped off the top of my screen again, as it always does. Connor, Guinness from a can? No. Well, you got to have Guinness from a can when all the pubs are closed, mate. You don't really have a choice. But I mean, you can have it from a bottle, but to be honest, I actually prefer them from cans to bottles. Would I prefer it to be in a pub? 100%. Have I got a choice? Not at all. Jim's Arm says currently drinking some Molson Canadians. Molson? I've heard of Molson. I don't think I've really had it before. I used to quite like wheat beers and things as well. And I do like a Blue Moon as well, I must admit. I do like a pint of Blue Moon. There's a pub near me that does Blue Moon on draft with a slice of orange in as well, which is rather nice. Clip these bits out. James Bray, good evening, sir. How are you doing, mate? Duffy saying if I have a choice on beer, I'd go with Yuengling. I've never heard of that, mate. I can't even pronounce it. Marcus is saying he just drinks tea, water, and non-caffeinated sodas except cherry coke. That's my guilty pleasure. Yeah, I don't drink very often, if I'm honest, mate. And then when I do, like especially when I'm drinking at home, like most I'll probably have is probably two beers, something like that, just as a bit of a like if we're doing like a Zoom call with family or something or friends, something like that. I'll probably have a couple of beers or a few glasses of wine. But generally, I don't really drink much at home. And obviously, the current situation, all of our pubs are closed pretty much in the UK at the moment. So it's not like I've got the choice to do anything about that. Horns fan saying, yes, I love Oktoberfest. Best times in my life. Love Munich. Yeah, I went. I've been to Oktoberfest a couple of times. When I used to work for the old company that I worked for, we had one of our offices was in Munich. So we used to always we had 2 meetings a year with this particular kind of like basically all the people from around the world who did the same job that I did in the different countries. So each kind of like country manager would all get together, and in the summer we'd probably do something like maybe go to Barcelona where we had offices. So we had offices in Barcelona, we had offices in Manchester, which was where I used to work. So sometimes we'd come to Manchester. We had offices in Paris, so we'd go to Paris sometimes. Where else did we go? That was probably for those ones. But then we always went to Munich for the October meeting. And went to Oktoberfest. So that was quite nice. That's something I'll miss from not working for that company. I did get to go to some nice places, eat in some nice restaurants and things. However, one thing I would say is going to those kind of meetings and stuff, whilst they were all lovely people and nothing against them, we didn't really have anything in common. There was always some kind of like language barriers between us as well, because there was somebody from Russia, there's somebody from Germany, there's somebody from Spain, somebody from France, all this kind of stuff. There's always some kind of like language barriers going on. And the only thing we had in common was we all worked for the same company. So they were always funny evenings, those kind of like works. It's all right during the day when you're working, but when everybody's like sitting around with forced fun, having dinner together, then it was a little bit more stretched at times. There was a few people I used to always kind of end up sitting with. There was a guy from Colombia who was good fun. There was a guy from Italy who was always good fun, and the German guy was a massive Bayern Munich fan. We always used to sit and kind of talk football and stuff. But yeah, it's hard graft, those kind of things. The work was easy. It was the socialising that was difficult. VGC craft beers, Cooper's, Bogue's, Cascade. We don't really hear of that kind of stuff over here, mate, to be fair. But by the same stretch, you probably don't hear of our kind of like local craft beers either. Tizzy Brain Drain saying, would like to go to Oktoberfest at some point. My sister got a chance to go and she had a few stories. Yeah, they're lively, mate. I mean, we have kind of like Oktoberfest things in the UK now as well, but they're not like Oktoberfest. They're basically just like pretend Oktoberfests with lots of drinking, really. Jim's in his hobby supply drop tomorrow for the Ace of Bases. More cork than an Aussie's hat. Nice one. Horns fancied he's been at Oktoberfest and Mardi Gras. I would love to have gone to Mardi Gras, mate. He says, Oktoberfest struck me as a bunch of happy drunks. Mardi Gras struck me as a bunch of belligerent drunks. I can imagine, mate, that's probably it. I think Mardi Gras is probably closer in the UK. When we have our UK versions of Oktoberfest, it's just loads of drunks, basically. People with their big 2-pint steins who've had far too much to drink. VJ said, if you can get Young Henry's, most of their stuff is the Duck's Nuts. Never heard of that, mate. There's definitely some local stuff. Like we get like I quite like beers like Beavertown, Neck Oil and stuff like that. We get some of those kind of stuff over here. I'm not even sure if they're brewed locally now as well. That's the thing. Robson, are you going to do more content about Malifaux? Really curious about the game. Yeah, I definitely will, mate. Like I said before, mate, I don't know if you missed it earlier on. The guys from Malifaux actually got in touch with me recently and said, could they send me some stuff out? They said, we've got absolutely no expectations. You don't have to make any content with it. You can do with it what you want. Like, you don't have to review it. You can review it. We're not asking you for like sort of preferential opinions or anything like that. Purely just, we'll send it out. Do with it what you want, kind of thing, which was really nice of them actually. And they were really basically just said that they'd been watching my channel for a while, and they said there was a few of the designers were kind of fans of the content, which is nice, really. I'd rather companies basically saw it as like rather than free marketing, which is kind of essentially what it ends up being sometimes. I'd rather they kind of want to support it because they kind of believe in it as well, and they want to see people do well. So yeah, it was super nice for their head honcho to get in touch. He sent some stuff out, and it all came today. And there was a lot more stuff than I was expecting. So I've got plenty of stuff to be doing a bit more content. As I said before, I love the world of Malifaux, the universe. So yeah, if I enjoy it, why not make content about it? So yeah, they actually sent me out as well. They sent me out the hardback rulebook for The Other Side, which is another game that they've got, which is set in the same world, the same universe, but it's more of like a, I wouldn't say army scale, but you definitely use more minis than you do for Malifaux. Maybe like 30, 40 models, something like that. Think more like combat patrol type size things. It's on a bigger board and things as well. Oops, got it the wrong way around. It's on a bigger board as well. So I'm not sure whether I'll play the game, but I tell you what, the amount of background fluff that is in the book that like adds to the world of Malifaux and stuff It's unbelievable. It's really, really nice. I didn't realise that's one of the things that you don't get to see with these books, and it was the same. They sent me out the Explorers Society faction book. You never get to see what's in them. Like nobody ever kind of like shows the books online and stuff, because a lot of these stuff people would pick up just for the background information if they saw just how much was inside. But people don't. So I'll probably do a bit of like I wouldn't say necessarily a book review, but a little bit like what I did with the Armada book, the Armada rule book, just to kind of show it off, just a bit of a quick flick through, give people a bit of information about what's in there, so then people can make their own decisions about whether it's something that they're interested in picking up. Because like Malifaux's rules, like Mantic's, are free online. You can download the rules for free, but none of the background information is in the free rules. So if you just want the rules, they're absolutely free. Don't bother buying the book. But if you want all of the stories and the background things, the books are fantastic quality. But we'll get to that when we start reviewing things. If we've got time tonight, I might show you a little bit, just to kind of wet your whistle. So there is our second little dog. Let me zoom in a little bit. Quite a cute little thing. Let's have to clean that up a little bit. I actually put my finger on it with wet glue on the side of it, so we'll clean that up a little bit with a brush. In fact, let me just do it now while it's before it goes off. There we go. Excellent. How are we doing for time? 10:05. That's not too bad, is it? Right, let me zoom out. I'll tell you what. Let me flick back to the main screen for a bit. I'll have some drink here. It's annoyed me that none of those things are working now. I don't know why that's the case. Normally, when you flick to it, it kind of resets it. I just want to try something. Let's see if I can. Where are we at? I'll tell you what. Let me press the test widgets button and see if that resets it. So if I press the test and press that one, BlackJack Legacy just subscribed. So that's actually working there. I don't know why that's. And if I press the super chat button. Yeah, that's working. The test things. I don't know why that wasn't working before then. Random, because up in this top corner where the star is, we should have everybody that's donated and things. Random. That was the Patreon pledge from before, and we've got Aaron Walker as well, which I've just pressed. So you should see Aaron's come up as well. There it is. Right. No idea why he's decided it doesn't want to do what it wants to do anyway. Where else are we up to here? Peter says, I can no longer drink anything strong due to health, but I used to love a cold Kaltenberg or Carlson. Never heard of them, mate. Guinness, obviously, yes. Andrew's a Miller guy. 6 Budweiser, and I went, and me puking. Budweiser's quite gassy and like normal Budweiser, to be fair. I'm not a huge fan of like just normal like red label Budweiser. His favourite beer for a hot Texas day is Pacifico with salt and lime. Never heard of that, mate. Stay clear of the angry drunks. Zingbo, good evening, says scale model kits often number parts according to their positions on the sprue. Like part 1 is top left, part 2 is next to it. They might do on scale model kits, mate, but they never seem to do it like on miniature stuff randomly. VJ says my policy on where was that one again? My policy on US beer, non-craft, is what Monty Python say. Jim's saying glad to be on the weekly food and booze hangout. Yeah, as always. Paul Inman, thank you very much, mate. Happy Christmas to you and yours. So that one's come up this time anyway, but it hasn't updated the thing, mate, randomly. I don't know why it's doing it, but at least it came up on the screen, mate, and you got to see it. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Let me scroll down there. Peter says he suddenly got a thirst on. I think that's why I had to stop to drink some of my juice, mate. Tasty brain drains. Like, I love cider. I could drink it like water. Yes. I think it just keeps jumping ahead. I'm just going to dive in anyway. Mark Corley, hello, mate. How are you doing? He says, just finished his shift. Thought I'd catch the back end of the hobby hangout. Nice one, mate. Thank you very much for coming in. Where are we up to here? Marcus is saying, the reason for Mardi Gras kind of sucks here in the States as it's all drunk college kids. I can imagine, mate. Now it's kind of lost its like original reason. Pomsy said I prefer spring break. I've been to Mexico before when spring break was on, not realising that though, to be fair. Christian saying doesn't drink beer, cider or wine. Bourbon is his go-to if I do drink. Yeah, I do like a good bourbon as well. I like a nice whiskey. I like a nice rum, but then I drink beer, cider and wine. I don't tend to drink things like port. I don't like brandy and I'm not really into like liqueur type stuff. Things like Baileys or stuff like that. I tend not to like that kind of stuff. Robert's saying the minis he's seen from Malifaux so far are pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty nice, mate. Horns fan says, come on in. Andy's billing Malifaux dogs. Nice one. Mike G says in Milwaukee where Laverne and Shirley filmed. God, I remember that show. The place they worked at's been torn down, but there's a microbrewery there, and they have a bit of the original line, and the tasting tour ends at. It's amazing, mate, that kind of stuff. I used to work for a brewery, and doing the brewery tours and stuff like that was always good fun. Scott says, picture the Facebook group of these scratch-built Viking houses. Nice one, mate. I'll check them out after the stream. Peter says, I really want those dogs. Are they 28 or 32 mil? I think they're kind of... I mean, let me put them next to something for scale. I might have a Space Marine in here somewhere. There we go. I've got the body of a Space Marine. Not me personally. Let me go back to where we are painting. So that'll give you a rough idea of scale. Let me clear a bit of space here and show you. That'll give you an idea of. They kind of come up to roughly about Space Marine's knee. I mean, none of them are on the base at the minute though, so it's kind of like a bit more even. So let me just. There you go. Does that give you a rough idea, mate, of size and scale? Put them over there, and then scroll out. I might as well start cracking on with some more bits. Who have we got here? We've got Lord Cooper there. We've got the Runaways. Let's do Lord Cooper. He's the main man. Let's clip the bits out for him. Mike G says, bunch of drunks singing the theme song at the end. Warwick says, well, crap now, Malifaux stuff looks really interesting. The giant evil teddy bear looks pretty fun. Yes, Teddy is a good model. Have a look at Lord Chompy Bits as well. Lord Chompy Bits is part of the Dreamer crew, which is part of Neverborn, and it's basically like a little boy who's sort of nightmares, his dreams become reality. And there's some really nice stuff included in that. Let me just zoom out a little bit here so you can actually see what I'm working on rather than. Right, hopefully I don't think I'll need that sort of base insert. As nice as it is, because I think the bases I've got it'll pin to quite nicely because they're not perfectly flat, so I'll be able to sort of like stagger the parts for it and things, so it looks like he's stepping up a little bit. Peter Nicholson, I remember Laverne and Shirley. I fancied one and wanted to hang out with the other one. Hello Blizzards, mate. How are you doing, fella, by the way? I'm not sure if I said hello to you before. Tony talking about Laverne and Shirley, responsible for me trying milk and Pepsi and barfing up. Oh, God. I wouldn't even fancy that one, mate. Marcus says, it's like being in Boston. Watch everyone stop to sing Sweet Caroline every time they hear it. It's probably a bit like everybody shouting Biker Grove when they're in Newcastle, or singing the Bladen Races. There you go. If you don't know what the Bladen Races are, you should Google the Bladen Races. I might give you a rendition of it when we reach 10,000 subscribers. Which we're not far away from now. We're about 300 away. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to make it by the end of 2020. It's probably going to be kind of a couple of weeks into 2021. I think it'll be like around some around the 14th or 15th. I think it'll be of January. I think we'll hit 10,000 subscribers. It would have been nice to get it in 2020, but it was close but no cigar, I think. I can't see it happening now. Not unless I suddenly come up with a absolutely amazing video in the next couple of days. Which hasn't happened all of 2020, so I'm not gonna break my back worrying about it. So clip all these bits out. These little weird robotic mechanical foot thing. Try not to clip any bits off I'm not supposed to. Alright, that's it. Those are the bits. Put that on one side. Is it Small or Smolly? Hello, how are you doing? Saying Merry Christmas to all. Thank you very much for coming in. He says rum is the way to go. Yes, you're not wrong there, mate. I do like a drop of Kraken as well. Andrew Fairbanks saying favourite Christmas song. Mine is Rusty Chevrolet by The Upers. I'm actually a big fan of Fairy Tale in New York, if I'm honest. It always feels like it's not properly Christmas until I've heard the Pogues and Kirsty MacColl. But generally, I'm not a big Christmas song fan. I think the problem is they seem to start earlier and earlier each year, and you kind of get burned out on them. So yeah, I'm probably a little bit bar humbug when it comes to Christmas songs. I'm certainly not a fan of Mariah Carey or George Michael, that's for sure, which seem to be on repeat. When we were at this Christmas light display thing yesterday, which with the Ben at Annick Gardens, they did have some Christmas songs on there as well, and I must admit I did quite like. I do like. What's it called again? I think it's called Merry Christmas by is it by Wizard? Not the bells ring out for Christmas. Yeah, that one. Wherever I can't remember the name of it now. Yeah, the Wizard one anyway. I quite like that one. There you go. That's probably my two choices. I'm not a Michael Bublé fan or anything like that. VJ saying, okay, time again with a day here. Catch you all later. Have a fantastic Christmas. Hope James Workshop brings you what you want. Thank you very much, mate. You take care too, and no doubt I'll catch you in the Patreon chat before the big day, mate. Palmsy said, I just read a Shane McGowan book, and he says Brandy is a killer, so I'm staying away from it. Well, he's managed to kind of survive all these years, mate. So he's he looks like he's dead, but he's not. Tony Booth Lighten. I remember that song, mate. Peter said, I've got the body of a space marine. Yes. Peter Cooman says, thanks for the scale shot. Looks a bit big for bolt action, sadly. Would love them as guard dogs. I mean, they are kind of bloodhounds, mate. So they'd probably still be a decent size. I'll see if I can dig out my bolt action stuff, mate, and I'll get a picture of them for you. Mark Colley said, I thought Fog on the Tyne was a Geordie drinking anthem. Do you know what it is, mate? Nobody sings Fog on the Tyne. Not even Newcastle fans sing Fog on the Tyne. I think only Gaza and Lindisfarne sang Fog on the Tyne. It's a bit like saying all Cockneys sing Knees Up Mother Brown, or what's the one? The one about the pearly kings and queens. I think it's one of those things, mate. I can honestly say, other than in pure sarcasm, I don't think I've ever sang For On The Time. Lord Maiden says, what was that circular thing on Lord Cooper's sprue? Is it a bass insert? It is a bass insert, mate. Yeah, so it comes with that bass insert, and you can obviously, there's a place to, I think, like, so one foot is slightly higher than the other, but because I've got these ones to use, there'll be plenty of opportunities to make it work with those ones, mate. Let me scroll down a bit. I wish it could be Christmas every day. Yeah, I think that's the one, isn't it? Yeah, that's the song. Peter Coon, Jingle Balls by Corn. Martin says, a favourite Christmas song I really can't, but I love any Christmas church music sung by a large choir. Nice one. Wizard, I wish it could be Christmas every day. Yes, that's the one, mate. It's a cracker. I'll get my coat. Yes, that's the one, mate. That's the one I can kind of tolerate. It does bring a smile to my face, but I'm generally not a huge fan of Christmas songs. Like I say, purely because when it gets to that time of year, it's the same kind of like 5 or 6 on repeat. Lord Maiden says, thank you. Maybe a runner-up prize for Ace of Base. I tell you what, mate, if anybody wants it, they're welcome to it. I don't think I'll probably use it. Unless I use it as a bass topper for somebody, as a gift or something like that. Yeah, maybe. Baby, it's cold outside. That's not a bad choice, actually, to be fair, mate. I'll give you that one as well. Carol of the Bells by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I tell you what, we've got some good old mix of tastes in this group. I do like that. Not that song, I've never heard of it. I mean, I like the fact we've got a mix of tastes. Don't let the bells end. God, there's a... that's the darkness, isn't it? Bloody hell, yeah. Peter says, no need for a scale shot with bolt action minis. I have actually worked it out by seeing them next to your paint pots. Easy reference, we all have those. Those paint pots at the bottom, mate, are I'll tell you what, I'll put it next to one of them ones for you. So there's probably the tallest of the two. It comes up to roughly the writing on the Citadel pot. There you go. That gives you a rough idea, mate. The writing of the Citadel text. Martin says 12 Days of Christmas sung by the Muppets. I don't think I've heard that, mate. Clint Dawson says, my lady's been repeating Christmas songs since mid-November. Do you know what it is, mate? I think because of the whole 2020 pandemic and people being a bit down in the dumps and stuff, it feels like Christmas started in October this year. People had their decorations up super early, which I thought was really... which is fine if that's what people want to do, but the problem is I've got a 4-year-old who's been thinking Christmas is just around the corner for about 4 months now. That's the problem. Can't Beat Feely's Navidad. I don't think I've heard of him, mate. Where the bells ring out and I forget the rest. Yeah, that's the one, mate. Mike G says, "Ode to the World" by the Vandals. Scott says Muppets did a Christmas song. I may have to drop the stream. Scott says, "Spaceman Came Travelling" by Krista Bird. Yeah, actually, I don't mind that one. It's funny because I don't, for all it says about Christmas and it's got all that stuff, I don't think I naturally instantly think of it as a Christmas song. Jingle Bell Rock, the one that's in the start of Die Hard. I quite like that one as well. Actually, I don't know if it is in the start of Die Hard. It might actually be in Lethal Weapon at the start. You know, when the woman throws herself off the building right at the start. That might be the song that's in that. I can't remember now. I always forget Lethal Weapon's a Christmas film. Where are we up to? Zingbo is saying everything's going to be cool this Christmas by Eels. Has a mortal line, Baby Jesus Born to Rock. Blizzard says, I've been a fan of Savatage since the 80s, so when they started TSO, it was an easy sell for me. TSO and Savatage, wow, honestly, mate, that goes over my head, that one. Tasty Brain Drain says he's probably still a little drummer boy. Percussion reminded me of the noise about that. I know exactly what you mean, mate. I've got you under my skin. Is that a Christmas song, mate? Tony Howard, the only Christmas song I like is by Greg Lake. Wow, mate. Don't forget Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Die Hard, best Christmas movie ever. Tony Blue Light and Lethal Weapon. Yes, mate. I think it was Lethal Weapon. Blue Christmas by Elvis. Yeah, my dad was a big Elvis fan. Well, he's still alive. He hasn't gone anywhere. I'm sure he's still a big Elvis fan. But I remember growing up listening to the Beatles and Elvis and Everly Brothers and stuff like that. And Blue Christmas was definitely one I remember from being a kid. I think I just aged my dad there. I think if he ever was listening to that. Yeah, he's not gone anywhere. I just haven't seen him in a while. Tasty Brain Drain says, though being a huge Tori Amos fan and hearing her amazing version has helped me to like it more. I don't know a lot of Tori Amos stuff. More probably like the didn't she do like a dance version of Tori Amos? Did some like dance stuff not long ago. Well, I'm saying not long ago. It's probably 10 years ago or something. Peter Nicholas says, was Gremlins a Christmas movie? 100% is a Christmas movie, mate. It's all set in the snow and that, isn't it? It's 100% a Christmas movie. Saviour's Day, that's there. Mistletoe and Wine, Cliff Richard. I'm not a huge Cliff Richard fan. Yoakum saying, Elvis Christmas album is tradition on Christmas Eve. We don't really have any Christmas traditions in our house. Me and my wife were just talking about this the other day, because she said, like, is there any like films you like to watch at Christmas? Any like, you know, like, it's not Christmas till I've seen such and such or something like that. And I went, no, not really. I've not really had any like Christmas traditions like that. Maybe I need to start some. Maybe my Christmas traditions is spending the 23rd with you lot. Maybe that's a new thing. Blizzard says Savatage is an American prog rock metal band. TSO Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'll have to check them out, mate. Never heard of them. Lord Maiden's name is Kevin Wilson. Yeah, I remember sort of Kevin Wilson was a big thing when we were like kids at school. Around the same time Chubby Brown became big as well. You know, obviously listening to all that swearing when you knew you shouldn't have done, being about like sort of like 12 or 13 or something like that. Womble's Christmas song. Everyone forgets about the Wombles. I had the Wombles Christmas song as a single. I think the year I got a record player for Christmas, I think my mum bought me the Wombles Christmas album. So it shows you how old I was. Nightmare Before Christmas is a hell of a film. Me and my little boy were just watching that recently. And if anybody likes, you know, the Toys That Made Us on Netflix and stuff, there's a series called The Films That Made Us. And they've just done a new series, which is the Christmas films that made us. And one of them is about Elf, the Christmas film. And one of them is about that very one there, Nightmare Before Christmas, the making of. And they're really, really interesting stories. Really, really interesting. Right. A little bit of glue on this one. Come on, don't block up for me. Oops. Scott said it's just a shame Rick Astley didn't have a Christmas song. Probably would have loved it. I'm sure Rick Astley's probably got some Christmas songs somewhere, I'm sure. Tony said, I think I was the only person in the cinema who laughed when Phoebe Cates explained why she hated Christmas in Gremlins. Marcus says, Shazam is a Christmas movie. I've not seen Shazam yet. I don't know. There's me, likes all my Marvel films and stuff and DC films. I've not seen Shazam yet. Right, bit of glue down the side here. Come on. Back of the hand there as well. I like the way these fit together, mind. They're a nice clean fit. James Brace, my mum is a backing singer on the Wombles Christmas song. If I knew you were in around royalty, mate, I'd have got you on live. Peter says Rick actually didn't do a Christmas song, he just got Rick rolled. Probably, mate, yeah. Pomsy saying, what about the frog chorus? Not very Christmassy, mate, but I do remember that song as a kid. Not Paul McCartney's finest hour, I don't think. Clint says, I saw a Twitter thread of an immigrant celebrating Christmas for the first time, pointing out every family has their own traditions and they take very seriously, suggesting alternatives as blasphemy. I read that same thing today, mate, as well. It's about how, like, how cheese seems to be a massive thing in British Christmases or English Christmases for some reason, and about how you can buy yourself a present, but you can't buy yourself a stocking. That kind of stuff. I think it was it was either someone that was like a Muslim or something like that, and they'd never celebrated Christmas before, obviously because their family don't celebrate Christmas, but because of lockdown and stuff, he was now stuck with like flatmates in London, so he was celebrating Christmas with them, and he just said the whole thing was really weird. Says people take the buying of presents far too seriously, and no matter what budget you set, so you don't spend too much on gifts. No matter what budget you set, the thing that you want to buy is always like £5 or £10 too much. I thought it was quite funny. Quite observant, I think. James says she worked in the office at the record label and they just grabbed a load of people in from the office. She's on an Elton John track for the same reason. That's a bit like how I ended up in Biker Grove. Love into the video was definitely Christmas looking. Last few years I've gotten into a habit of listening to the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack regularly from about early October up to Christmas. Yeah, Danny Elfman did the soundtrack for the Nightmare Before Christmas, who also did the soundtrack for the Batman movie as well. Does quite a lot of stuff with what's he called again? Tim Burton. He's got an equally kind of dark tone, I think, to his writing. Let me just dry a little bit of that up. Well, this is quite relaxing tonight, folks. Just building models and rather than painting. I think I'll do this more often, actually, just as a bit of a change. Right, I'm not overly keen on that foot. I think there's going to be a bit of a. Could really do with being pinned, that one, I think. I think the idea is it just kind of sticks to it, because I think where the base is, there's a tiny little kind of piece in the bottom, and I think that fits into the base, and then this foot just almost just sits on there a little bit. But that's it. It'll go like that. We might pin it when it comes to putting it on the base, because I'll probably have to cut that little piece off the bottom anyway. Right, we'll let that bit dry. There's another one done there. So that one is Lord Cooper. Let me just zoom in on that one now. That is Lord Cooper, who is the leader of this particular crew for the Explorer Society. Quite a nice sculpt as well. Let me just get this light over here so you can see a little bit more. Lots of detail as well there on the face features, and skull on the shoulder, and steampunk robotic arm. So I'll let that dry off. Let's have a little look for. Tony says, do people still tell ghost stories on Christmas Eve? Something I got from my Irish grandparents. I've never heard that, mate. Peter said, anyone going to point out how National Lampoon's Christmas movie is default on the telly each year? Palmy said, Frog Chorus was a Christmas chart. Was it really? I didn't think it was a Christmas song. Lord Maiden says, he just went down a rabbit hole. He posted a video on the Discord channel. Dirk says, Krampus is a good Christmas movie too. Makes a good double feature with Gremlins. I've not seen Krampus. I've saw that it's on Netflix at the moment, but I've not seen it. James said he just watched it with his wife last night. I tell you what we watched last night. We watched Ocean's 8, which I fully expected to be a complete pile of garbage and a of the era of let's do an all-female cast version of successful films. But actually, it wasn't bad. It was all right. What was that? My little boy crying next door. Give me 2 seconds, folks, and I'll come straight back. I'm back. Apologies for that. Well, and as if by magic, look, all of those things just come up on the screen now. Ortega has just pledged on the Patreon as well. Thank you very much, Ortega. I knew it was working before. I just needed to go off the screen and come back to it. So yes, awesome. Where were we up to? Yes, it was. Ocean's 8 was better than I expected, actually. And yeah, Marcus is saying it's better than the new Ghostbusters. 100% it was better than the new Ghostbusters, mate. I agree with that. James Brace says, A Christmas Horror Story is a 2015 anthology that I watched in 2016. I think watching that has become our only tradition. Has William Shatner in it. Lord Maiden says, it might be me, but it looks like Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik. I think it's the moustache, mate, a little bit. Yeah, it probably is the moustache. Let's have a look at the box art. Yeah, he's got that kind of. Let me just zoom in on there. I think with it all being grey, it's maybe not giving you the detail, but yeah, that's what the guy looks like. I'm not sure if he's got a cigar, mind, has he? Oh, he has got a cigar. Yes, there's a tiny, tiny cigar in his mouth. Unlike the what do you call it? The Necromunda ones where the cigar was separate. James says, this Be Right Back message should just read, me lad's woken up. It's the only time it gets used. It's there for emergencies like, I need a piss. I'll be back in a bit. But yeah, I've only ever used it for when my little lad wakes up. I think I will change that to, sorry, my little lad's crying next door. Paul says that's a very low bar. Yes, it is a very low bar, mate. But I think because I went into it expecting it to be pretty garbage, I was surprised actually that it was pretty decent. James saying that there's a new Ghostbusters next year. Looks good. Yes. Dirk says never watched the new Ghostbusters. Only heard bad things about it. It was all right. It just wasn't really a Ghostbusters film. That was all. Paul says favourite Christmas files for me are Muppets Christmas Carol, or film, sorry, which is pretty much the definitive version of A Christmas Carol and A Wonderful Life. What would I say? I don't think I've got any kind of like default Christmas films. Home Alone, maybe. Home Alone. Just realised I haven't seen Love Actually this year. I think I might have seen Love Actually in parts at some point. Mark says the original plot for the 2016 Ghostbusters was a better idea, where Chris Hemsworth's character was actually an evil mastermind. Yeah, I remember reading about that one. I think we went through a phase of like kind of trying to rewrite stories to force in characters, I think, for a while. Jerks is I don't really want to watch a Christmas horror story from what I see in the screenshots. I do love a good horror film, mine, I must admit. How are we doing for time? Right, I don't think I'm going to build any more of these tonight. I think I'm just going to hang fire. I'm going to have a little look at these bases. See if I can find a suitable base to put our intrepid hero on. This is a mixture of different ones. If I can get one with a bit of different height to it, that might work. Because one foot is definitely lower down than the other one. Will that one work? Oh, it might if I trim the little... I've got to trim the little thing off the bottom. Just go back across the end there, at least you can see what I'm doing. So that's the little clip that was on the bottom of the foot. That was meant to go into the base. Watch it, it's got zombie elves. I might have to check that one out, mate. It sounds right up my street. So we've got, let me just zoom out a little bit. So we've got this base here. And hopefully that might... That's pretty much perfect. That's not bad. All those toes kind of hang over the edge. I think that's exactly what we'll do. There we go. That looks alright, doesn't it? Oh, or it would do if it didn't fall over. Let me stick a little bit of blue tack on just to keep it in one place. Come on, blue tacks, don't stick to my finger, stick to the model. Actually, there's a little pin on the bottom of that foot as well that we'll just file off. Must be just where it went into the that's it, where it went into the molded base. There we go. Let me just adjust the height of this one and you can have a look at it. That looks better. Looks like it was made for it. And then we'll have these kind of bases here as well. With the doggies on. Let's get another one as well, see what else we've got. We can have that one. That one there. I might want to get a different kind of base, I think. Let's get one that's a bit flatter, I think. Some of them are a lot more rugged than others. Let's go with that one. Just put him on there, I think. Oops. He's been shot. Oh, it's because there he is. He's on 3 legs, I think there. So yeah, that's not too bad. And then we'll have this big fella that we did earlier on as well. We'll find a way to get that pinned in the right place. I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a size model for a 50mm base, that's for sure. We'll have to find the best positioning for that one. But yeah, so there. Gives you an idea of the size of that one compared to the other bits. Let's go back here as well. Have you seen Bad Santa though? Yes, I have seen Bad Santa. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Has anyone watched Christmas Horror Story? Please let me know what you think. It's definitely an under the radar film. I'll definitely have to check it out, mate. It sounds like my kind of thing. Bad Santa, top Christmas movie. Has anyone seen Fat Man? It is called Fat Man, I think, isn't it? That looks like it's just been come on Netflix recently. Christian said, just remembered Anna and the Apocalypse is a Christmas movie. I've not heard of that, mate, that's for sure. James said, I just think I mixed up Bad Santa and Bad Grandpa, the Johnny Knoxville thing. Yeah, they are 2 completely different films made. Christmas Horror Stories on Netflix, even better. I'll definitely be able to watch that one then. Tony says, yes, it does also. Granted, my favourite quote, crap in one hand, wish with the other, and see which one fills first. Love Maiden says, have you seen Kiss Save Santa? I have not seen Kiss Save Santa, mate. I have not. Yoakum, thank you very, very much, mate, for that very kind donation. Merry Christmas to you and your family also, my friend. I'm sure it'll pop up on the screen this time now. Or it will do somewhere. Dirk says, can't say that I can recommend Fat Man. Good. I had heard that it was a load of rubbish. I'll certainly not be watching it. There we go. It's all working now for some reason. Apologies to anybody that it didn't work for earlier. No, I really want to see Fat Man though. Yeah. Christian's here. It's a British-made musical with zombies. Is it really? I've never heard of it, mate. Tony says Christian was brought up on them and Hammer. I guess my mum was a bad influence. Yeah, I do love a good horror film. Awesome sauce. Right. I think, folks, I'm going to end up wrapping it up there then, because it's about 11:15. So I think let me just, actually I'll leave that on for a second. I think I'll kind of wrap it up there. I haven't got anything to clean up tonight, no brushes to wash, that kind of stuff. My throat's drying out a little bit. I want to try and get a good sleep, because no doubt my little boy will be hyper tomorrow, up early, Christmas Eve and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to kind of end it later, just to say, oh, James says, sorry, Andy, what's your Ace of Bases plan? I'm not sure, mate. Potentially I might use one of these bases as a kind of last minute thing, but I'm thinking about doing like a little diorama if I get the time. I've never made a diorama before, so I'm trying to think maybe I'll do something a bit more scratch buildy and try and do something like that. But I obviously can't win anything, but yeah, I'm definitely going to take part in it, that's for sure. And Lord Main, have you seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? I've seen the original one, mate. There's some cartoons on Disney Plus now about it. Actually, you know what it is? Let me get rid of this camera. I might as well sit and finish my drink. Users still asking questions. I might as well crack on for 5 more minutes. Let me just get this and then it's out of the way. For those wondering, this is how I use my camera. It's on a friction mount. I've got a camcorder, and that's what's in front of me when I'm filming you lot. When I'm filming, not filming you lot. That's a completely different camera I use for that one. Let me sit for 5 minutes and finish my drink, and then I'll let you lot get off to bed. That's where I've just knocked the camera down. It's kind of like, it's all right, it's okay. Martin's saying, don't forget to drop a like. Thank you very much, mate. That would be awesome. Everyone's saying, have a good Christmas. I'll literally be 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll probably finish this, and then we'll call it a night. But what I did want to do before we kind of ended, yes, it was Lord Maiden. I was just joking on that one. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much, folks. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, or happy holidays, whatever choice of religion or holiday that you celebrate. I want to thank you all really for your support this year. And when I say support, on top of the financial stuff, which is obviously important because that's what makes it possible, I just mean like coming into these live streams, hanging out every week, coming and joining, making the community what it is, because the community is you, it's not me. I just kind of come in here and turn the lights on and everybody turns up. You lot are the community. You're what makes it welcoming to other people. You are what brings new people in, and it's absolutely awesome, mate. I really do appreciate all of the support that you give me, and you make it all worthwhile. I'm quite fortunate that as somebody that sort of spends their living sort of doing stuff online, I get some nasty comments. I get some awful stuff that you don't get to see because I delete them and because I don't really want to read them myself. But the amount of like nice stuff that you see far outweighs the crap that I get sometimes. So I really do appreciate that. It keeps me smiling. It keeps me positive. So thank you very much, James Bray. Thank you so much, mate. Said thanks Andy and thanks chatters. A great community. Yes, 100% that, mate. Scott's saying show us the other goodies that Weird sent you. Okay, mate. I'll tell you what. Let me just move my microphone. I'll get you some. I'll show you this stuff. So they sent a whole pile of stuff. Let me just. So they sent me out some Fate decks. So one of them was this Fate deck. which is the Malifaux Allegiance one. So this one is actually for the other side, which is their other game, but it is perfectly suitable to be used with Malifaux. So this is one particular deck that they sent out. They also sent out another one as well. So this one has got a slightly different design on it. So this one is the Earth Allegiance. This one is the Malifaux Allegiance. So basically the backs of the cards are different, but the fronts are the same. So a couple of those. They sent me out the Explorers Focus, the Explorer Society Fate deck. So these are the faction specific ones, and this is kind of like the artwork that you get on these cards, which is particularly nice. I like this kind of stuff. I actually found my my original decks as well, my old first edition decks. So I've got about 6 or 7 decks, I think now. So they sent me out this, which is the one I've been building tonight, the Lord Cooper box, which is the new box for the Explorer Society. They sent me out the Malosaurus Rex, which didn't have a box, because like I said before, it's not out until January, so they didn't actually have any packaging for it yet. They sent out an expansion to go along with the Explorer Society, which is On the Hunt, which basically has those models in the back. So that's the Crypsis Corpse and what they're called, the Vatagi Huntsman. So that's those ones. They also sent out the McMornan core box, which again is very nice as well. I think that came out in November. So yeah, McMornan, Chihuahuas. What else we got? Sebastian and the Flesh Constructs. Yes, Palms, you see now we're back on Monday. Yes, mate. All of the live streams are staying the same, mate. So because of the way they fall, we'll be doing next Monday, we'll be doing next Wednesday, and I think we're going to do next Friday as well, as a New Year's Day kind of like a special one. They sent me the Nakima core box, which has the contents for that inside, which is awesome. Sebastian and the Flesh Constructs, is that a new band? Yes, mate. They also sent, let me just get this crap here. They sent me out the Explorer Society book. The quality of these is fantastic. You can see the kind of like the gloss finish on the front there as well. If I can get the light to kind of hit it so you can see it now. There. But yeah, the amount of, I'll go through this in a bit more detail on another video, but yeah, it's absolutely beautiful stuff in that book. They then sent me the Through the Breach RPG core rulebook, which is quite the meaty hardback tome. Very, very nice. They then also sent 2 of the new what do you call your bits? The extra, I forget what they're called now, like the campaign books. So this is the Penny Dreadful Days Without Accident, and this one is the Penny Dreadful Obsidian Gate. So they're pretty cool. And then they also sent out the hardback rulebook as well for the other side. So yes, they sent way more than I was expecting. I thought they were going to send me a faction box. That's what I was expecting, if I'm perfectly honest. So they've gone way above. It was just under £14 in weight, the box that came. So yes, mate, there's plenty to be coming, mate. Peter says, "Oh, you delete my comments when I'm pissed at night." I tell you what, mate, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, you get some people are absolutely. Some people are awful. Let's just say that. Let's stay at that. Phil Campbell says, "Stay safe, folks. Hope you all have a great Christmas. You take care, mate, as well. Merry Christmas to you." Yes, we are back on Monday, as I said before. William Jones says, it works both ways. We appreciate you. I haven't a Homelands walkabout on my bucket list. If it happens and I'm out your way, you'll have to take me to where the scrumpy is and the meat pies. 100% mate, you will have a deal. Paul says, Sebastian, the Flesh Construct's our new band. Horns fan says, no, stop showing the Malifaux stuff. I don't need yet another game to sink money into. Resolve weakening. Yes, mate. William Jones says, you deserve them. You need them. Well, it's a weird thing because I do need stuff to do my job. Like I can't review stuff if I haven't got stuff. But I'll be honest. I like the conversations I had with the guy from Malifaux from Weird Miniatures, because it wasn't like, do you want to review this? It was just, look, I'll send you some stuff and just do with it what you want. It's entirely up to you. And if you want to kind of talk about stuff, you want to interview anybody, just let us know. But I'm not pushy. I won't push it onto you. If you want something, like, just come to me direct and just tell me you want something, and we'll work together on that. And I thought that was quite a nice way. Some companies are not like that. I've had companies who send me stuff or want to send me stuff, but expect a review and expect a positive review. And when I've said, look, there's no guarantees of a positive review, they've said, oh, well, we're not going to send it. So it makes me think some channels offer positive reviews either for money or for free stuff. Because when I've said I refuse to, I refuse to tell you I'm going to give you a positive review before I've even seen your stuff, so then they choose not to send it out. I find that a little bit weird. I won't name what those companies are, but yeah, I do find it weird. Lobin says, take care. I may not be back in time. Okay, take care, mate. Where are we up to? James in here, lovely haul. Yeah, I was blown away by it, mate. I wasn't expecting that. It gives me a good head start for January anyway. It gives me a load of new stuff to get my head around and that stuff. Tony saying, do like the look of that Nakima box. Yeah, I didn't realise till somebody said it, but the Nakima, I think they all come on like 50mm bases. They're all on big bases, those models. Christian says, I like the look of the RPG book. It looks dense. It does look dense, mate. What's brilliant about it, let me just grab it. What's amazing about it is it has like lots of background stuff in about Malifaux as well. And basically the way you resolve combat is with cards. So in the same way like you use the deck of cards for Malifaux, you use the deck of cards for Through the Breach as well, which is quite nice. Rob says, yeah, I might be breaking one of my resolutions. Malifaux looks cool. Stay safe and Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you very much, Robert. Take care, mate. And I'm sure we'll speak either in the Facebook group or in the Patreon group before Christmas. You saying good night, folks. Yeah, Corn's fancy. Who am I kidding? I'm probably getting at least the core book and maybe one cool book of minis. The core rule book is... This is the core rule book here. This is mine. I bought this myself. They didn't send me this. I already had it. But if I can flick to, so the how to play stuff starts on page 38, and you've got all of this stuff in here is all just background stories, background fluff, artwork. It's just a really, really nice book. So yeah. And the Explorer Society book, again, it does have some information about the factions and about the faction. So the stat card information with like little stories and things basically starts about halfway through the book. The rest of it is just background stories and fluff. What's interesting about these is you don't need these at all to play the game. Like all of the stat cards are free online to download and print off yourself. You get them. The stat cards you get inside the boxes with the miniatures, so you don't need the book. And if you just want to give the game a try, the stat cards are all free online. These are basically just like background stories and background information for factions. So whilst for me as somebody who loves the background, really appreciates that, actually as a player it's nice to know that actually if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. It's not like you're buying like a codex for 40k because you need like 5 pages of stats at the back, but you have to have it kind of thing. It's It's nice. It's nice that it's optional. It's nice that it's optional. Dirk says, glad I'm immune to Malifaux since I won't find anyone in my playing group to play it with. I can't play anything, mate, at the minute, so that kind of thing doesn't bother me. Tom Ferris is enjoying the chat with a dram of Crown. Very nice, Tom. Thank you very much, Tom, as well. It was you, wasn't it? That just... I'm sure. Yeah, you did, yeah. You joined the Patreon the other day, mate. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I said thank you the other day. Lobin's in the app is free, has all the cards. Yeah, the app, exactly, the app's the same as well. So, let me just... I've turned the other camera off now, but... So, if I can just... I'll show you on my phone. So the app, basically... It'll zoom. You can kind of open it up. You get this crew builder. Of course, it's not going to zoom in while it's... And then basically, you've got all the different things. The rules are on there as well. You can pick cards. So if I pick the card for... Let's pick the Malosaurus Rex. So the cards are on the phone there. That way, all the way, the front and back of the cards. So all the information is there as well. So you don't need the books. You can even proxy stuff in if you just want to give the game a try, and all the rules are free as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Lord Maiden saying, yeah, has all the news that we had put on the website. Yeah, so what it also does as well. So if you listen to the law video thing that I did, and I was talking about the Breachside broadcast. If you go to, I think it's in the news section here. You can see Breachside broadcast there. If you click on that, these are all the audio stories. So these are all available to listen straight down through the app as well, and there's more on podcasts and stuff. So yeah, awesome. Tom says, enjoying the chat with a drama Crown Royal while playing with a dog. A nice one, mate. Scott says, I've just downloaded the crew builder. It's great, mate. It's really good. Scott says, Malifaux slow grow. If I tell you what, if people are interested in it, I'm more than happy to do it. If it's something folks want to do, maybe January, February time or something like that. If people are interested in it and you want to do like a... When we talk about slow grow, we can just say, look, just a faction box. Build and paint a faction box or something like that. If folks want to do that, I'm happy to do it. I'll be doing it anyway, so yeah, if folks want to do that, I'm more than happy to do that. So we're now at 11 o'clock. Now is a good time to finish it. I've finished my drink. I'm going to get tidied up in here and get myself off to bed. Again, just going back over what I said before, thank you very much everybody for all of your support this year. Obviously I'll see you before the end of the year, and we'll have a proper good sort of roundup of the year and stuff, and talking about our favourite models and our favourite games. And don't forget as well, we've got the community showcase next Monday as well. If you haven't emailed me a picture, please do remember to check out the Facebook group, or the community section on YouTube has all the information on how to send me a picture, and I'll be featuring all of the community pictures. Everything that gets sent to me, I'll be putting in the live stream on Monday, so you can get your miniature showcased in the end of the year special. So thank you very much, folks. Have an absolutely awesome Christmas. I'm sure I'll chat to some of you in the Facebook group and the Patreon Discord before Christmas comes. But for those of you that I don't, have an awesome time. Please do stay safe, look after your families, and I'll see you just before the end of the year. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.